champion A's meet the Twins in a season opener. Tonight at 8 on KPIX5, your Bay Area sports station. This is a KPIX sports presentation. This is a KPIX sports presentation.
And the Oakland A's have a return engagement in the World Series.
The Oakland A's cut loose in Toronto last October. Their victory over the Blue Jays propelling them back into the World Series.
Oh, you dirty dog!
But the Battle of the Bay would be a massacre, a lopsided 4-game sweep. Any joy swept away by the sobering events of October 17th. Spring, a new beginning, and still the celebration was on hold. Tonight, it's time to cut loose again as the victors get their spoils.
Champion Oakland A's opening night special. Live from the Oakland Coliseum, KPIX Sports Director Wayne Walker.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Oakland Coliseum, where a sellout crowd is on hand here to pay tribute to the 1989 World Champions and kick off the 1990 season against the Minnesota Twins. And the skipper who took the A's on that wonderful ride to the World Series title last year is with us, Tony La Russa. Tony, I know you're gearing for tonight's game, but one quick look back about last year. The things about this ball club that stand out in your mind the most.
I think it's just the team feeling that we've acquired, Wayne, and almost like no matter what you throw at us, an injury or a slump, we just feel we're going to pull out of it some way because we all support each other. So I think it's a real strong team feeling.
Tony, I don't think I've ever seen a better job of a team over a long period of time, bearing down and staying with it day to day, and that's not easy to do when you have 162 games.
Well, you're right, Wayne. You know as well as I do, the up and down quality of most teams is because that's the kind of way it is to be humanly possible. You've got to really rise above that. And our team has been so consistent, and that's really what we're trying to do again this year. We just want to be a hard-playing team every day.
All right, everybody knows about the short spring training. Do you feel you're ready?
Yeah, I think we're going to surprise everybody with how well we play.
All right, Tony, good luck. Go get him tonight, and congratulations again on last year. All right, my colleague Joe Fonzie joins us now. I know your name, Fonzie. Joe Fonzie joins us now. He's been with the A's since the spring training lockout ended. And Joe, you know quite a bit about this team because you have seen them almost on a daily basis.
Well, Wayne, I think the question that everyone was asking this year as spring training got started was, can the A's repeat, and how difficult is it to repeat? There's no question about the fact that it is difficult, given the fact that the American League West is certainly stronger than it was last year. But I would think that right now you certainly have to consider the A's the class of the major leagues.
Two of the game's most feared power hitters, the premier leadoff hitter, and a supporting cast worthy of top billing on most other teams. Watch the A's at work, and it's not hard to imagine a third straight trip to the World Series.
I feel proud, you know, being a world champion and doing what we have the past couple of years, and winning, just such a great feeling to win.
I said one time, and I'm very positive this time there is a dynasty team here, and you're going to see the Oakland A's on top for 3 or 4 or 5 more years to come.
But this potential dynasty lost 3 key players during the offseason.
Phillips dives and smothers it, throws, got him!
The lure of free agent dollars took Tony Phillips, the team's most versatile performer in '89, to Detroit. 19-game winner Storm Davis now pitches for Kansas City.
How you feeling?
And most importantly, Dave Parker is now a Milwaukee Brewer. The A's may not miss Parker's 97 RBIs as much as his clubhouse presence.
Hey, what's up, Oscar? Look at you. I see you. What's they looking like? Look, I see you. What I miss most about Oakland? I don't know, my sons. I got a lot of sons over there. I got Jose Canseco, who I was very close to. Ricky Henderson and I became very, very tight. I would just think the overall personnel, Dave Henderson, Langsford, all those guys were very close to me, and, I just miss that friendship.
Dave Parker's not here, and it feels like the camp is not full. I mean, 3 or 4 guys are missing or something.
So who will fill the leadership gap?
Right now, I really don't know as any one guy. You know, Corner Lanford been here probably as long as anybody been with Oakland A's. So, you know, if I was looking for somebody, I'd probably look at him for us to take their leadership.
Lansford, in the past more reserved, seems ready for the role.
You know, I paid close attention this year to the Super Bowl when the 49ers were doing so well. And after the game, I listened to a lot of comments that they made, and that'd be a heck of an idea to come up with a T-shirt for everybody here. It says, "Contentment stinks, and stay focused."
The NFL went a decade without a repeat champion until Joe Montana and the Niners busted the Broncos in New Orleans. Nearly 2 decades passed in the NBA before the Lakers won back-to-back titles in '87 and '88. Baseball's about due. The last repeat World Series winner, the 1977 and '78 New York Yankees.
In my opinion, Oakland will repeat again. I mean, if our team just stays healthy, we play to our ability, there's no way we can lose.
All right, this is going to kind of be like watching a parade go by, because there's going to be all kinds of fireworks and festivities out here tonight. And, of course, the A's players from last year's championship team will receive their World Series rings. Honorees tonight will be Rickey Henderson, the most valuable player in the American League Championship Series, and then Dave Stewart for the World Series. So we're just going to try to stay with this thing and guide you around the Oakland Coliseum tonight. They've already showed up on the Diamond Vision some highlights from last year for the fans here, plus some fireworks. And they'll have fireworks along the way this evening, Joe.
Wayne, I think one thing when you look at this team that I was certainly impressed about as we start to see some of the ceremonies now at home plate.
Yeah, that's the American League president, Dr. Bobby Brown, a former third baseman for the New York Yankees, who will be giving Rickey Henderson the most valuable player trophy for the American League Championship Series. Henderson, as you well know, had a sensational series. He hit 400 in that series, 2 home runs. He scored 8 runs. He had 8 stolen bases. He had 7 walks, and every time you looked up, he was on base and doing something to Toronto.
With 2 home runs.
Kind of appropriate about Rickey as well that this is the season in which he'll, in all likelihood, become the all-time stolen base leader, break Lou Brock's record, and Ty Cobb along the way. And kind of appropriate that that happens here in Oakland, where he broke Brock's single-season record.
Yeah, the standing ovation now, Joe, for Rickey Henderson as he receives the trophy from Dr. Bobby Brown, the American League president. As you mentioned, Rickey Henderson, currently 3rd lifetime steals in Major League history, needs 68 more, and that's a pretty normal season for him. As you see right there, needs 68 more to pass Lou Brock as the king of baseball stealers all time in baseball. Now that's not a boo you're hearing, because Dave Stewart is the next one to be on it.
I knew it was either that or Boog Powell was in the ballpark, but it's got to be Stu.
A 20-game winner each of the last 3 years. The World Series most valuable player, Dave Stewart.
Dave Stewart, like Rickey, another hometown guy, and very proud to be part of this. Stewart set a goal of 25 wins in 1990, putting a little pressure on himself. A 20-win season would be his 4th straight, something that hasn't been done since Jim Palmer did it for the Orioles in the 70s. Stu's won 62 games the last 3 seasons. That's more than Clemens, Saberhagen, Viola, and Hershiser, all Cy Young Award winners. And that's the one award that has eluded Stewart.
And another great thing, Dave Stewart, he put a goal, as you said, this season for 25 wins, but he actually won 25 last year. 21 during the regular season, 2 wins in the American League Championship Series, and then 2 wins against the Giants in the World Series. Definitely their stopper, definitely the man that they go to.
Well, the amazing statistic about Stewart is that he hasn't missed a turn in the rotation since he came to the A's, and that's just says something about your versatility and your longevity.
Well, Joe, right there at home plate is, along with Dr. Bobby Brown now, is Walter Haas, the owner of the Oakland A's, and Wally Haas, his son, the president. And they will receive the Commissioner's Trophy, which is symbolic of the World Championship. Let's go now to PA announcer Roy Steele.
Baseball. Dr. Bobby Brown is now presenting Walter and Wally Haas with their 2nd consecutive American League Championship trophy and the Commissioner's Trophy, proclaiming the A's as the world champion.
All right, you see the owner, Walter Haas, and Wally Haas, the president, out there receiving congratulations from Dr. Bobby Brown. We'll be back with more right after this.
The Oakland A's opening night special is brought to you.
Welcome back now live to the Oakland Coliseum, where a few of the A's regulars are loosening up out in the outfield, and the Minnesota Twins are being introduced to this crowd. Now let's go upstairs and meet a couple guys who will be doing the television broadcast for the Oakland A's network this season and doing the 30-some games that we do here on Channel 5. A couple old friends, a couple guys that work hard every time they're up in that booth. Monty Moore and Ray Fosse. Gentlemen.
All right, thank you, Wayne, and hi, everybody. Well, Ray, as we look at this thing tonight, it's really easy to get caught up in fantastic excitement. This is my 28th Major League opener tonight, and I feel just like I did 28 years ago for the first one almost, only there's one big difference. We were not celebrating a world championship that many years ago.
Well, tonight the A's are, and I think the most amazing thing about an opening night when you can pass out a world championship trophy as the Haas family just received and also raise that championship flag. Players get the ring. There's nothing more exciting than that. But more importantly, Tony La Russa, as we mentioned earlier, wants to forget about that very quickly, start thinking about 1990, and that's the #1 objective for him right now.
Okay, now, Ray, what are they going to have to do to win again? It's one of the hardest things in sport to do. To win that American League Championship the second year in a row was tough. Now they're trying for 3.
Well, I think the most important thing is to be healthy, and the A's this year are healthy, and Ricky Henderson, of course, being with the ball club, Jose Canseco, I think he's going to have just one dynamic year.
Batting practice tonight, Ray, he was out of sight.
He is just so strong and just ready to have a tremendous year. But I think the biggest thing is not be complacent, not assume that you're going to go out and win the ball games. They have great pitching, they have great defense, great offense, they have a great manager, great coaching staff, great ownership, a lot of greats, but you still have to perform on the field, and that's what they expect to do. And Tony La Russa, as we've always talked about, is the best manager, making sure they do that.
Well, that's the thing they work for right there, that beautiful trophy. There are 3 of those down in the entryway to the Coliseum right now, the A's offices. They'll add that 4th one tonight.
And of course, I don't think it could happen to a greater ownership than the Haas family, and they've done so many great things for this community and the ball club, and I think it's very appropriate for them.
Well, Ray, they're just about ready to hand out the thing that all the players in all sports seem to talk about more than the money even, and that's the championship ring. Wayne and Joe will be back with you for that ceremony when we come back.
Well, welcome back to the Oakland Coliseum, where the fans and the players themselves are being treated to a fireworks display of what their World Series ring will look like. That is high above the bleachers out in left field. And up on the diamond vision in center field, you'll see over to the right as we pull away is a true rendition, a photograph of the 1989 World Championship ring that will be presented to the Oakland A's. Another huge fireworks display just now going on down in right field. There you see it, an A's pinwheel. Pinwheeling fireworks high above the crowd again back in the ice plant, where Canseco almost reached the ice plant a couple times earlier today, Joe, over in the left field side.
You know, a lot of people talk about who will be the hitter who hits one up on the ice plant here. That's probably about a 500-foot plus shot. And Jose Canseco, a lot of people speculate, might just get all of one someday when there's a power pitcher on the mound and become the first guy to hit one. Reggie Jackson came close a couple of times in right field, but no one's ever done that, reach that ice plant in either left or right field here at the Oakland Coliseum.
I'll tell you, there's a lot of guys itching in this Oakland dugout, ready to get out there now and line up along that third base line to go out there and receive their championship rings. I think it's very symbolic of the effort that they put in over the season, and Ray Fosse and Monty Moore were right. You know, when the guys get that ring in any sport, they covet that more than anything. I've seen guys get it and stare at it for 2 hours straight without taking their eyes off it. And I think you know, and this team, I think, has a chance to repeat as well, Joe. And you know, Tony La Russa really keeps them channeled, really keeps them focused. Just tonight when he came out to talk to us before the game, we both said, "Hi, Tony, how are you?" And he said, "I'll let you know at 10:30."
Exactly.
You know, he's really, this celebration to him is, it's okay. He's thinking about 8 o'clock when they tee it up. There he is right there and getting his World Series ring being presented out there by, once again, Dr. Bobby Brown and the owner of the A's, Walter Haas.
I think Tony might be allowing himself to reflect back on 1989 just for a moment now. He likes to stay focused, but you notice he opened that thing up and he wanted to get his look at it firsthand as well.
Sure. You can't It'd take you 3 days to wipe that smile off his face right now. But that is really great. Dave McKay, one of the coaches. Renee Latchman, the coaching staff is being introduced, and they play a major part. Renee Latchman and Dave Duncan in particular.
They really do. And
Coach number 18, Dave Duncan.
I think Tony might delegate authority to his coaching staff as well as any manager in baseball as well. And you know, I think this is a big honor for the coaches as well. Many of these guys most of them have been major league players. Many of them have been managers with other organizations and not achieved this status. And now for them to get the ring as well, it really means something.
Dave Duncan, the pitching coach, who has had several feelers for a managerial position. And to give you an idea how much this A's organization thinks of these assistant coaches, the coaching staff of manager Tony La Russa, is that tonight, collectively, the coaching staff will throw out the first ball.
And Larry David.
A's training staff getting rings as well.
That was, is that Barry Weinberger?
There's Barry,
sure. Yeah.
Equipment manager, Frank Senchek.
Frank Senchek, the equipment manager, one of the great guys, been around here since forever. You know, the Charlie Finley days, the Billy Martin, Billy Ball era. Steve Vucinich, who is the visiting clubhouse manager. He does a great job.
Number 34, Dave
Now it's the players, and here's the Oakland native, Dave Stewart. And, Joe, there's some concern with Stewart starting tonight in these festivities. You know, will he have a chance to get down the bullpen and get warm and do what he's supposed to do to take on the Twins at 8 o'clock? Talked to Dave Duncan earlier about that.
Yeah, Dave was saying that last year he's in the middle of his warm-ups when they're doing this, as Jamie Quirk comes out to receive a ring. They turned out the lights when Stu was right in the middle of his warm-ups, and he had to just wait, and he is worried a little bit about him cooling off.
Well, Stewart and Duncan right now are making their way down to the left field bullpen to get that taken care of.
Number 6,
Carney Lansford receives his ring, and someone who the A's are looking to for leadership this year, with Dave Parker being gone now.
Felix Jose, who spent some time with the A's last year, played some at Tacoma. He played a lot early in the year when Canseco was hurt.
Walt Weiss, here's the guy that everyone wondered how the A's would be able to recover when he was injured last year. And here's one of the guys who filled in so ably when he was hurt, Mike Gallego.
One of my personal favorites, Mike Gallego. I think I like the way that he moved around, and he's not a natural shortstop. He moved over there when Weiss was hurt, did a sensational job, and even picked up things at the plate a lot.
Lance Blankenship we just saw, and now Gene Nelson, one of the A's long relievers, and again one of the most versatile players on the team, who can step in and do whatever role on the mound you ask him to do.
Kansas City Royals think they have the best bullpen in baseball now, but the A's still maintain that theirs. Mike Moore, number 21, A starter, and here is Ricky Henderson.
Another one of the things that when people talk about the Dave Parker void, the 97 RBIs that he had last year, they forget that Ricky Henderson will be here for an entire season. As Mark McGwire comes out, had the great rookie year with 49 home runs.
Number 28, Stan Javier.
The slimmed down version of Ron Hasse.
Yeah. He lost about 20-25 pounds during the offseason. When you get over 30, you have to start doing that.
It gets harder too, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Kurt Young, a hard luck guy last year, and someone that the A's are really hoping will get things turned around this season.
Jose Canseco, big hand from this crowd.
Jose said, and I heard him say it in spring training, that he thinks he's capable of a 50-50 season, 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases.
I heard him say that to you. Who's to doubt it?
Number 38, Dave Otto.
That's Dave Otto.
Number 40, Rick Honeycutt.
Rick Honeycutt doesn't get a lot of the notoriety that Dennis Eckersley does, but you see this left-hander come out of the bullpen and pitch to one man in the 8th inning or the 9th inning, and has done a remarkable job to set Eckersley up.
The other thing that he did when Eckersley was hurt last year, he did come in and pick up some saves when the A's needed someone to pick up the slack.
Look at that. I told you those guys, it's hard for them to keep their eyes off it. It really is, and I don't blame them.
Number 43, Dennis Eckert.
Dave Henderson, kind of a reclamation project by the A's a couple of years ago, and has really blossomed here.
And particularly in the postseason. Great late season and postseason heroic. And the best reliever the last 2 years in baseball, without a question of a doubt, right there, Dennis Eckersley.
Interesting to see this spring that he thinks he's going to get better now as he comes toward the end of his career.
Remember, the A's were with him for some time last year when he had rotator cuff problems, but he came back strong at the end of the year, and of course you know what he did in the playoffs and in the World Series.
Welcome back, number 17,
I'll tell you, a very heartfelt moment out here right now for a lot of fans, and especially number 17, who's trotting out there. That's Mike Norris, former A's pitcher who hasn't been on a major league roster for years and years and made the squad this year. We'll go to break. We'll take a timeout, and we'll be right back with more. And the A's are next, and keep in mind tonight at 11 o'clock we'll have post-game interviews and all the highlights. For Joe Fonzie, Ray Fosse, and Monty Moore, this is Wayne Walker. Enjoy the game, and we'll see you at 11.
The 0-1 pitch. Well hit, goodbye. I mean, this is crushed. And McGuire may have just tied it. First pitch, see you later. Canseco bids for the second homer of the inning. If it's fair, he's got it. Whoa. And it settles into the upper deck.
Oh, my goodness.
It's a ground ball to the right side, speared by Phillips. Looks to Eckersley. Yes, he's there in time, and the A's are the world champions.
Oakland A's baseball, brought to you by Unical 76. With guaranteed auto service, we're still a service station. The Northern California Toyota dealers. The more you know, the more likely you'll buy a Toyota. American Airlines, something special in the air. Sizzler, the steak, seafood, and salad restaurant. Coors Light, the one that won't slow you down. The Silver Bullet is the right beer now.
Was October 28th at Candlestick Park as the A's completed their World Series sweep of the San Francisco Giants. Tonight, the A's defense of their World Championship begins at the Oakland Coliseum with Game 1 of the 1990 season against the Minnesota Twins.
I think some of the things that we want the 1990 A's to represent is a real consistent club as far as effort. Day in and day out, people come out and see that the A's are playing hard, trying hard, and then we really concentrate on executing. You know, baseball is meant to be played in a proper way, so we're anxious to do both those things and do them game to game, series to series. Because I think our whole idea is we need to get to the 90s as soon as possible as far as the number of wins, and that'll put us in a contending position in September, and then let the best team win.
And tonight we are live from the home of the world champion Oakland A's at the Coliseum. Hi, everybody. I'm Monty Moore along with Ray Fosse. Welcome to our first telecast of 1990. There will be some 62 of these this year. Ray, welcome to you on opening night again.
And same to you, Monty. Let's hope we have as much fun as we have had the last couple of years.
Opening nights are always very special, and this one here tonight may be the most special of all here.
Well, I think so. Tony La Russa and his team will receive the World Championship rings from last year, but Tony has said some very important things about that. You want to be very happy to get those rings from last year, but at 8:05 you want to start concentrating on 1990, and I don't think there's a manager alive who does that any better than Tony La Russa.
1990 is going to be something different for the A's, if nothing else, in faces in the crowd.
Well, absolutely. I think from the player standpoint, Jose Canseco is going to be there for a full year. Ricky Henderson, of course, was just here for about a little over half a year last year. Scott Sanderson did an outstanding job yesterday in his first appearance in spring training. The ball club is set. I think Tony La Russa said some 14 days ago before spring training started, these guys will be ready. And I think the way they played over this weekend, the Babe Ruth Series, they have shown they are ready.
A lot of people always ask about a champion. Can they stay focused? Are they good enough to think ahead and forget last year? And we'll find out the answer to that in a moment as Ray Fosse talks with our captain.
Before spring training, explain, if you will, the purpose of that.
Well, Ray, I just wanted to pay a lot of attention, real close attention to the 49ers this last winter in the Super Bowl and see what kept them going, really. See what kept them hungry, being that they had won the Super Bowl the year before. And I just felt we're going to be in the same position as them. And I was searching for ways to get me motivated and things maybe I could do to help get the team motivated. And, you know, the one word I kept hearing more than anything else, maybe there's two words from George Seifert on down to the players, were that they didn't want to be content with what they had done the year before, and they also felt that they needed to stay focused at what they were trying to achieve this year, and that's to be something special. And so I thought it'd be a good idea to maybe put a T-shirt out in the guys' locker right from the get-go in spring training, and just kind of says it all for us.
What is it about a manager or player when you win a world championship? You guys will get your rings tonight. What is that inner drive that makes you want to win again and again and again instead of just being happy with the one world championship?
Well, for me, you know, I consider us at this point the best in the world, and I want somebody to have to go out and take it away from us. I don't want to give anything up. It's mine. I guess it's like probably a world champion boxer or something. They don't want to give that world championship up. I don't want to give it up either. So I'm going to look for ways day in and day out to stay motivated, and that's a pretty good one.
You know, one of the biggest thoughts about some of the players who left, Dave Parker, what he's going to be missed as far as in the clubhouse. How much do you feel that he will be missed? You yourself, Dave Stewart, guys can pick up. Where do you think you guys will pick up where he left off?
Well, you know, obviously we're going to miss Dave. There's no two ways about it. He's a great leader, puts up some great numbers for us, and he's one of the nicest people I've ever met in the game of baseball. So I'm going to really miss Dave. I know the team will miss him too. They'll miss his leadership. You can never have enough leaders. We have quite a few, though, on this team. Like you said, Dave Stewart, I've tried to step up to that role a little bit more, and Dennis Eckersley. I mean, you be a leader. The best way to be a leader is by example, going out and playing hard every day and letting the younger guys see the way you play, and in the tough times, let them see how you react. And if you just kind of hang your head, then they're going to hang their heads. But if you keep your chin up and battle through it and work harder, then they're going to learn to do the same thing.
All right, have a great year, Carney.
Thanks, Rick.
Okay. That's Carney Lansford down here on the field. Let's go back to Monty with tonight's starting lineups.
Okay, Ray, and there it is for Tom Kelly's Minnesota Twins. Leading off is Dan Gladden. He's a native of the Bay Area, actually, left fielder. Randy Bush had a fine year last year, batting second, playing right field. Kirby Puckett, everybody's All-American last year. Center fielder, batting third. Kent Herbeck, first baseman, hitting cleanup. Gary Gaetti, a third baseman, is batting fifth. In the number 6 spot, Brian Harper, who has some Oakland A's background. He's the catcher. Gene Larkin, the designated hitter tonight. Greg Gagne back at shortstop for the Twins. And fleet-footed Al Newman is at second base and batting ninth.
Defensively for the Athletics, one that I'm sure everyone will see many games as far as if the healthy players stick around. Ricky Henderson in left field, Dave Henderson in center, Jose Canseco in right field, Carney Lansford at third base, Walt Weiss at shortstop, Mike Gallego at second base, Martin McGuire at first base, Terry Steinbach behind the plate, and right-hander Dave Stewart making his third consecutive opening night appearance here for the Oakland Athletics. And you see Dave still continue to throw down in the A's bullpen. The lights were turned off here for the playing of the national anthem. Now, last year, a similar occurrence happened, and Dave was a little upset because all of a sudden he was ready to go, and then they turned the lights out. Of course, he was not able to continue throwing at that time, but did win that ball game. So tonight, Dave Duncan said, we will have someone down in the bullpen, and if Dave is not ready, we'll leave the lights on. They wanted to make sure that he was going to be ready to start this ball game, and looks as if right now he is ready to come into the ball game.
Ray, I don't know if I've ever known a player in professional sports or at any level more revered by his local fans than Dave Stewart, and he has certainly earned it. He's a local guy. And just today I was over at the Warriors practice, and Al Addles of the Warriors front office came back came by, and he was just talking about the A's, and he's a great A's fan. He said, you know, Dave Stewart is on the board of directors with me, the boys club, and he said, what that guy does for our kids in this community, everybody ought to know. Well, I think everybody here does know.
Well, I think they do, but, you know, it would take this entire telecast for us to explain exactly everything that he is involved in, and with the kids and Kids Corps, and he is just so giving to in the community, and you wouldn't find a better story. I was talking to Steve Howard, also an Oakland native growing up here, and I had him on the A's warm-up or wrap-up, and he said, I used to watch the A's back in the 70s, very similar to Dave Stewart. And he said, as he hit a home run the other day at Candlestick, to be able to be on the field instead of sitting up on the rafters watching these guys play. Yeah. So it's a thrill, obviously, to grow up in an area and then to play for the ball club. But Dave Stewart, what can you say? He has done it the last 3 years, the first pitcher since Jim Palmer to win at least 20 ball games a year. He's going this year to try to match Palmer's 4 consecutive 20-game or more wins in the season. And tonight, he's facing probably the toughest club he has pitched against in the Minnesota Twins career record of 4-10. But that's his game face. He's ready. And I don't know that he knows or even thinks about having a record of 4-10. All he's thinking about is winning opening night here at the Oakland Coliseum in front of a capacity crowd.
Ray, we're having a hold up here, I believe, because those lights they turned off have not come back on over behind first base and also over behind third base. They're on in the outfield, but there you see just half the bank of lights on and half off. And that's why they're holding it up right now, I believe. When you were playing, Ray, and you were on 74 World Championship team here in Oakland, the A's had a player that time that all the players, when they had a big game, wanted to give him the ball because they knew that he would give them 100%. That was Catfish Hunter, who's now in the Hall of Fame. I think this ball club looks at Dave Stewart in the same manner.
Well, I think when Dave Stewart walks on the mound, and people will say, well, Dave Stewart is lucky. Look at the way the club plays behind him. That's not true. They play behind him because they know he's given 100%, and he's going to be in the winning side more times than not. When you have a pitcher who goes out on the mound, like a Dave Stewart, a Mike Moore, Bob Welch, these guys on a regular basis go out there. This team behind him, they love to play. They know that they're going to throw strikes. They know, first of all, they've got a great chance of winning this ball game. So they are going to go out and play their best regardless who's on the mound. It just so happens that Dave Stewart keeps them in the ball game. If you look at his statistics he hasn't missed a start in 3 years.
That's incredible to me.
That's absolutely incredible. When you think of the various problems that pitchers have had with arm problems or leg problems, anything like that. It's incredible, but you know, he takes such great care of himself, great conditioning, and there he is.
Well, David had one of those seasons every year in April for some time where he's just almost unbeatable. Last year, at the last 2 opening day assignments, he's had to defeat Mark Langston of Seattle, and he's done it.
Well, he's 15-0 in the month of April for the last 2 years. And before that, he had not won a decision in 10 starts. So you can just see what has happened to Dave Stewart since he has become a member of the Oakland Athletics.
Well, I don't know who took time to blow up all those balloons, but the A's promotion department didn't have much to do during the lockout, so they just blew up balloons, and there they go.
The lights have not completely come back on, but they are starting to, so I'm sure Dave Stewart is going to go out to start his warm-up tosses, and by the time he completes his tosses, that the lights will be there. But fortunately, they are not the lights shining in the fielding play itself, but just back in the foul territory.
Ray, this is a big evening for a lot of people. Obviously, it's a sellout here at the beautiful Coliseum on a fantastic night weather-wise. They're even televising this game live back to Japan tonight in Japanese. So it's a big one. You know, opening night, over the years, I was just checking some record books this past week, looking at it. 114 years Major League Baseball has been around, Ray, and some of the most notable opening nights. Bob Feller in 1940 pitched a no-hitter on opening day for the Cleveland Indians. Frank Robinson in 1975, I believe it was. Anyway, he was the first player manager to hit a home run on opening day, and he's, of course, a native of Oakland. There's a look at some of the press area up here. That's the Japanese television right there. You want to hear those guys for just a minute? What's their pregame show sound like?
ロックアウトの影響で、キャンプに入ったのがとにかく3月の20日からですからね。だから2週間余り練習して、その中で16試合というのをオープン戦もこなしてきたわけですけど、いかに言っても
whatever it is, they've got people listening to them back home. Continuing, it was opening day in 1974 that Henry Aaron hit his 1714th home run to tie Babe Ruth. 1986, Dwight Evans hit a home run on the first pitch of the season off Jack Morris of Detroit. And guess what? He hit another home run off Jack Morris of Detroit today for Boston. The guy named Sam Horn, who'll never forget today as opening day, had 2 3-run homers for his new team, Baltimore.
And there's a lot of people in Boston won't forget it either, and they're going to let the franchise in Boston probably remember it for many years.
Well, the A's sent him some flowers because he beat Kansas City. Here's Dan Gladden, a native of the Bay Area, outstanding outfielder for the Twins, and the first pitch from Stu is in there for a called strike. And ladies and gentlemen, the world champs are underway in 1990. And we're happy you're with us. This is the first of our 62 telecasts this year with the A's at home and away. Gladden takes inside for a ball. Gladden's a good base runner, a good outfielder. He hit .295 last year for the Twins. Had 8 homers, drove in 46 runs. He's one of the throwbacks to the old style ball player. He is an all-out hustling player who's not afraid to get that uniform dirty. 2 balls and 1 strike. Foul right off the face mask of Terry Steinbach's. Good to know that thing's working.
Dave Stewart during spring training, of course, with the abbreviated spring training, Stu had 3 appearances, total of 14 innings, gave up 3 runs. 2 of those came, as I understand, as lost in the sun type runs, but Stu was just unbelievably in perfect condition throughout the spring training. He didn't look like he even needed more than 3 starts.
Fly ball right center field. Hindu will put his act on for the first time this year, and it's a good one. He's taking it all the way to Broadway.
And Dave Stewart gets his first broken bat of the season as he saw the bat in half of Dan Gladden. Or at least he lost part of it anyway, down the third base line.
So Randy Bush comes on now, left-handed hitter. Product of the University of New Orleans. And how many of those do you know in the big leagues? Takes inside, ball 1. Hit .263 last year for the Twins and had 14 homers each of the last 2 years. Two balls and no strikes. Well, there's really a lot of discussion in baseball naturally about whether the hitter or the pitcher is going to be more affected by the short spring training. 3-0. I think if you take a look at the games that were played today in the big leagues, you can see that the pitchers, particularly those middle inning relievers, are going to be overly taxed for the first 2 or 3 weeks because the starters weren't going very long. Got the pitch in there, said Joe Brinkman, the plate umpire. It's 3-1. The A's new logo is painted in the grass right behind home plate. They've got that 3rd pitch in a row in the strike zone after falling behind 3-0. He's at 3-2.
You talk about the hitters and the pitchers. You figure that hitters are going to be geared for fastballs. They're going to be looking fastballs. Dave Stewart has an excellent fork ball. He gets in the count that it's in his favor. You're probably going to be seeing a lot of it.
Good by Randy Bush. What a comeback for Dave Stewart. He strikes him out after going 3-0.
Now, the most important thing, Dave Stewart, once he got to 3-0, he wasn't trying to be fancy, just right down the middle. And here's just a high, hard fastball. Might have been out of the strike zone. But Randy Bush swinging right through it for Dave Stewart's first strikeout of the night and of the season.
Now he faces a man who hasn't swung through many without some kind of contact the last few years. He hit .339 last year, led the American League in hitting by just 3 points over Carney Lansford of the A's. His home run production has really fallen off. Last year it went down to 9 for the season. Pitch is low for a ball. The year before he had hit 24, 28 the year before that, 31 the year before that. He ate pretty well this winter. Fouled it off. I guess there aren't any more likable guys around baseball than Kirby Puckett, Ray. He's admired by the players for his all-out hustle, and he's really liked by them because of his good personality and just he loves people.
And people love him. Harmon Killebrew, they call him Mr. Killebrew.
With Kirby Puckett, they want to go up and hug him. He's like a big teddy bear. And he loves fans and loves the kids.
Here's his first base hit of the year. Didn't take him long, did it? Last year, he had 215 hits. The year before, 234. The year before that, 207, 223 the year before that.
Pitch on the outside part of the plate, and he had opened up, but still, he might open up, but he has the bat back, and the pitch was up a little, and the base hit. Not trying to pull the ball, even though he had opened.
Here's one of the really powerful guys in baseball, Kent Herbeck. Signed a long-term contract, was a free agent at the end of last year, but decided he wanted to stay at home in Minnesota. Passed up some higher dollar contracts with other ball club, particularly Detroit. And I loved what he said, Ray. You don't hear this kind of statement very often. He said, I just got to thinking what I would look like and feel like in any uniform other than a Twins uniform.
That's exactly right. That's one thing you like to see. Some dedication, and you work hard to stay with the ball club. They treat you well. And sometimes you take less money to stay at the ball club, and that's what you appreciate about Kent Herbeck staying in Minnesota.
Not that he stayed any real cheap amount. There goes Kirby running. Steinbach double hitch on the throw. Got it there a little late. Stolen base for Kirby Puckett. Steiny put a good throw down there, but he double hitched trying to get the ball out of his mitt.
With the left-handed hitter, Kent Herbeck, and I don't know the way Terry Steinbach looked, whether there was anybody at second base, but Walt Weiss is there. But with a left-handed hitter, you can't see the runner out of the corner of your eye, as there would be with the right-handed hitter. Kirby Puckett, with 2 outs, gets a good jump and steals second base. But if Terry would have gotten the ball out cleanly, and with that throw, he would have been out. But instead, runner at second base, chance for an RBI for Kent Herbeck.
Herbeck in the weekend series up at the Metrodome hit one out of sight in the right field in one of the games. Kirby had only 11 steals last year and jumps right out and swipes one tonight. And Steinbach's been throwing great in spring training.
I think you're going to see a very aggressive Minnesota Twins. They have the power in the middle part of this lineup with Puckett, Herbeck, and Gary Gaetti.
The slider missed inside. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Kent Herbeck, who had 84 runs batted in last year. 76 the year before that, and 3 years in a row he had 90 or more and 107 RBIs in 1984. Hit .311 that year. One of the really great stars in the game. Dave challenged him with a high hard one, and it's fouled off.
One of the concerns that Tony La Russa has, and I'm sure all managers, in talking about the abbreviated spring training, is letting a pitcher go. How far do you let him go? Pitch count. Dave Stewart is a type of pitcher does not like to come out of ball games, so Tony has to be very concerned that he knows when to take the pitcher out, when to bring a guy in out of the bullpen.
Bouncing ball right side. Mike Gallego to Mark McGuire. The first half inning of the season has come and gone, and there's no score.
It is a race from California to New York.
Can I try that?
To win America's favorite light beer. It is the Tour Delight. Here comes the Jamaican bobsled team, Plecco and White, and of course, Run DMC.
Hey guys, I know a shortcut. Follow me.
Well, there goes Woody Harrelson. They all want to win the less filling beer that really tastes great, Miller Lite. And so, it's on to New York.
Canada. All right. What's on the map?
The Toyota puts this lineup out there to start the 1990 season. Ricky Henderson in left field. Carney Lansford batting second, playing third. Jose Canseco hitting third, playing right. Mark McGuire, the cleanup hitter, at first. Dave Henderson's in center field, batting fifth. Terry Steinbach is the catcher, hitting sixth. Hitting seventh, designated hitter tonight, switch hitter Stan Javier. Mike Gallego, the second baseman, in the number 8 spot, and Walt Weiss, the shortstop, hit batting ninth.
And defensively for the Minnesota Twins, Dan Gladden in left field, Kirby Puckett in center field, Randy Bush over in right field. On the infield, Gary Gaetti at third base, Greg Gagne at shortstop, Al Newman at second base, Ken Herbeck at first base, Brian Harper behind the plate, and left-hander Alan Anderson on the mound for the Minnesota Twins, last year winning 17 ball games. Over his career, which has spanned 2 plus 131 days, he has won 37 ball games. But coming over to the Minnesota Twins, he picked up the circle change from Frank Viola, and that has been the pitch which has made him most successful. And especially being a left-hander, facing a Well, an entire right-hand hitting lineup tonight in the Oakland Athletics. You'll probably see a lot of those circle change-ups, trying to keep the hitters off balance. He does not walk very many hitters. Last year, walking only 53 in 196 innings. So he has good control. He relies on that, and he has become a very good pitcher, especially in the last 2 years.
The winningest pitcher in the league from the left side. And he now faces what many people say is the premier leadoff man in the history of baseball. 85 games with the A's. He had 294. He was batting only 247 with the Yankees when he joined the A's on June 22nd. And boy, that ignited a spark that led the A's right into the playoffs and through the World Series to where they got rings tonight. And Ricky hit this ball into straightaway center field. 1 up, 1 down.
Not a bad idea for Anderson just to say to Ricky Henderson, hit the ball someplace. I'm not going to walk you. And probably capacity crowd opening night, the worst thing that Anderson could have done would put him on the base via a walk and then take the chance of him swiping at least second base.
Carney Lansford, fresh off one of the finest offensive years he's had, even though he led the American League in hitting 1 year playing for Boston. Came within 3 points of doing it last year. And you talk about a steady as a rock guy. He was it in the field and at the plate last year. Takes a big curve for a tall strike. It's 1-1.
Over the weekend, Carney Lansford bothered by a hamstring on the left side, kind of the lower part. So he said he'll be going all out, but not pushing it 100%.
Well, there you are, Kirby. Right to you. So those two guys who led the league in hitting last year start this year right off again with liners.
The batter, number 33. Jose Canseco, right field.
Now here's the big guy, Jose Canseco. 17 homers in just 74 games last year for the A's. His power well documented and certainly cemented in the memories of those around the world last year for that Titanic homer he hit in the playoffs. Even the commissioner of baseball in one of his featured television shows the other night was talking about it. Ray, he chose that as one of the highlights of the year.
Be a lot of people talking about the length of that home run.
And Canseco takes a strike. It's 1-1.
Joe Fonzie and Wayne Walker talking about the ice plant here at the Oakland Coliseum. That ball, I think it would have gone well up in the ice plant. It was pulled more down the left field foul line, but as far as it went, it would have gone the ice plant anyway.
Lansford is running, and Jose took a shot to right with that swing, sort of an inside-out swing. No, Carney, though having a little bit of a tender leg over the weekend, took off and running right here. He had his best stolen base record ever last year.
See Dave McKay asking him, pointing down to his leg, how do you feel? And what the base runner will do is give an indication to the third base coach, especially is Rene Lachemann for the A's. Let him know so that if there's a close play, he may not send him if he thinks he has a chance of hurting that leg even more.
Hello there. 2 balls, 2 strikes. You don't get this guy off the plate by throwing inside on him. I know that. The A's coaching staff back intact this year, Ray, and I think that's a plus. That man at whom you were just looking then, Rene Lachemann, had some interviews to manage some ball clubs in the big leagues, and he's back.
I think it's very appropriate, and I'm sure Tony La Russa, without really knowing, I'm sure he had something to do with it. Opening night ceremony of first pitch was thrown out by his coaching staff. Tony La Russa out with his coaching staff, and Tony depends on them, and they do a lot of work.
Jose fouls it off. It's still 2-2. We spent a lot of time last year talking about how hard-working those coaches were. This year there's a change. Tommy Reynolds should be in the dugout last year, and I think I heard that the A's can only have so many coaches there this year, and maybe Tommy's the eye in the sky or something.
That's a major league rule, or a new rule, for only 5 in uniform, 5 coaches and a manager. 17 home runs for Jose Canseco last year, one of those coming off of Alan Anderson at the Metrodome.
Went outside, it's 3-2. Oh, this is going to be a great year. Their Western Division has really beefed up to try to catch the A's this year, but Kansas City was beaten today by Baltimore.
California is losing to Seattle 7-3 in the 8th inning. Thanks to our out-of-town scoreboard.
Lansford running again. A curveball misses, and the A's have 2 runners on with 1 out here in the 1st inning. First of all, that's something, Ray, we may see a little more of this year is Jose taking more walks.
Well, I'm just going to say the respect the pitcher has for Jose Canseco not to give him a 3-2 fastball. But on the other hand, Jose Canseco standing there being ready to hit the fastball, but seeing the curveball and was able to hold up on it. So he's not up there just gearing to hit the fastball.
No, I don't have any personal goals. I just, my only goal I set every year is to win. And it's basically simple. Personal numbers and stuff, they fall into place. You got to stay healthy, keep plugging it, and you know, the numbers will be there. But as far as winning, I don't think anybody wants to be on a losing ball club. And the last few years we've been on a winning ball club, and it's the greatest place to be.
Well, he certainly helped the A's be winners. Mark McGwire, 33 homers last year, 32 the year before that, and 49 the year before that. And talk about personal goals, Ray, if he hits 30 home runs this year, he'll be the first player in Major League history to ever hit 30 homers 4 years in a row, his first 4 years.
Well, of course, Jose Canseco and Mark McGwire, the only 2 ever to hit at least 30 in the first 3 years. And I think everybody realizes that Jose Canseco would have hit at least 30 last year had he stayed healthy, or been healthy, especially the first half.
Fouled it off. Boy, the last week, McGwire's swing has been picture perfect. He has had some line drives to right. He's hit the ball hard everywhere. And he appeared to be, over the weekend, really ready for this season to go.
He had a great game at Candlestick Park Friday night. He had Thursday off. They've been playing a lot in spring training. I think a lot of the players were just a little tired, trying to get a lot of work in spring training. And he came out in Candlestick.
Here's a high fly ball, center field, not deep. Puckett calling for it. With an 0-2 count, Mark had to go for whatever was there, and it was close enough, and he got under it, and there are 2 away. And that's going to leave it up to Dave Henderson, who was Mr. Clutch for the A's during the playoffs, World Series, last month or so of the season last year. This guy really drove in some big runs. He had 80 for the season. Hindu's first year in Oakland, he had 94 runs batted in and hit .304. No score in the game. The season opener here at the Coliseum. What a beautiful place. All new turf this year, don't we, Ray?
Yes. Mark Razum doing an excellent job as always on this field and the spring training fields down in Arizona.
Little let-up pitch misses outside. It's 1 ball, 1 strike to Dave Henderson.
You see opening night here at the Oakland Coliseum. How many people you think were even thinking about a lockout in the delayed season? It just seems like it wasn't even thought about.
Ray, as I mentioned a little while ago on our sign-on, I've seen 28 Major League openers, and I have never seen a more impressive ceremony than I saw here tonight for the A's World Championship ring ceremony and everything that went with it. Ricky Henderson, Dave Stewart, all getting awards. Here's a strike to Hindu. It's 2-2 now.
Joe Brinkman is calling balls and strikes in tonight's season opener. Terry Cooney at first base, Rick Reed at second, Darrell Cousins at third base. Of course, the umpires, after their little walkout, came back for the last week, so they were able to get some work in.
There's a drive to left field, base hit very hard. They're waving Lansford in. Here's the throw to the plate, cut off. The A's lead 1-0.
Well, you won't find a hitter, a player who enjoys the spotlight more than number 42. Anderson had stayed in there, stayed in once too often as a fastball down and in, line drive. And this is one thing, as Dan Gladden, an excellent throwing arm. However, because of the shortened spring training, I think what you're going to see more and more as we take another look at a down and in fastball on a 2-strike pitch struck by Dave Henderson. Gladden hitting the cutoff man, but
I think you'll see more third base coaches sending runners early in their season than ever before, just because of the abbreviated spring training. I saw it down in spring training where coaches just, here come, let's go, see if he can throw them out.
Yeah, I was really surprised because Gladden does have a good arm, and that ball got to him in a hurry.
It did.
And he had the ball about the time Carney was about 3 steps from third base. I was surprised he didn't go all the way to the plate with it. Steinbach takes inside a ball, 1-1.
Well, the third baseman or first baseman, whoever is the cutoff man, has the option of cutting it off based on how hard the throw is coming in from the outfield. And what Gaetti was trying to do is catch Jose Canseco rounding third too much and try to get out of the inning, give up the 1 run, get out of the inning.
Steinbach, after a changeup, misses. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Gary Steinbach, here's a guy who's going to have a good season. Just wait and see. He had a good one last year at 273. 7 homers, 42 runs batted in. He had 16 homers for the A's in 1987. I bet he has that many this year.
Well, they're swinging the bat very well in spring training. 3 home runs in the 14 ball games.
Anderson trying to get in his kitchen there a little bit. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Anderson not overpowering, mid-80s with his fastball, but of course the circle changeup that he throws makes that fastball look even harder, but likes to work the corners inside and outside.
That's in there for call strike 3. The A's get 1 run on 2 hits and leave a couple. After 1, it's 1-0 Oakland. Spoils of being a world champion, being able to celebrate a lot, and you can be a part of the celebration, which is going to continue on and on. That little guy's celebrating, right? April 20th, the A's host the Seattle Mariners, and all fans in attendance are going to receive a cap that says Athletics World Champs embroidered right on the front. You've got to have one of those now. Game time 7:35. You can charge ticket by phoning 415-762-BASS or stop by the A's Coliseum box office, A's Clubhouse store in Southland Mall, or any of the Bass Ticketmaster centers, including the Warehouse Tower, Records, Video, and Emporium. A's Seattle, 7:30 Friday, April 20th. World Champion caps. You can't buy those caps anywhere. You only can get them coming here. Here's Gary Gaetti leading off for the Twins.
And the reports are Gary Gaetti had an excellent spring last year, bothered by a back injury, stomach problems. 1988, of course, he had some injury to his knee. But a healthy Gary Gaetti can put some tremendous numbers up for the Minnesota Twins. Career 185 home runs.
Pitch misses. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Well, he had 34 homers, drove in 108 runs in 1986, and in 87 for the Twins, he drove in 109 runs, hit 31 homers. 2 years ago, 28 homers. Last year, down to 19 because of the injury, as Ray mentioned. Gets under that ball on 2-0, and Walter Weiss is making his first play of 1990. 1 out.
That's the ideal place to pitch Gary Gaetti. If you fall behind him 2-0, as Dave Stewart did, pitch him outside. And Gary Gaetti is a pull hitter, and he can hit him a long way into the seats in left field, but that pitch a little too far outside. He just opened up too far.
Well, here's a guy who had quite a story last year for the Twins. Takes a call strike. He was with the A's briefly in 1987. But he took over last year as the everyday catcher in early August for the Twins and just had one great season down the stretch. Ripped that ball into center, falling fast, too fast. It's in there for a base hit. Ray, what happens to a guy like that? Just all of a sudden getting a chance to play?
Well, the reason he signed with the Minnesota Twins was because they gave him the opportunity to catch, to be a catcher. See, he's a great hitter. He does not strike out that much, puts the bat on the ball. But Brian Harper had the opportunity to come over to the Twins to be a catcher. He came up, of course, his bat helped him, but yet he has improved more and more as a catcher.
Here's Gene Larkin, the designated hitter. This guy is one of only 2 players in history in the big leagues to have been a student at Columbia University. The other one was Lou Gehrig. Not a lot of people probably put Columbia University and Lou Gehrig together, but that's where he went. 1 ball, 1 strike on the left-handed batter. Last year, Larkin hit .267 with 6 homers. He drove in 70 runs year before last.
ideally in the designated hitter spot, and ironically both teams tonight have a switch hitter in the DH row. Stan Javier for the A's, Larkin for the Minnesota Twins.
Pops out of the mid of Steiny, but runners holding on. Well, if there were any surprises to some in the starting lineup for the A's tonight, it might have been Stan Javier as the designated hitter. They had guessed a few other people. Tony La Russa just kind of kept his press corps guessing for a while and put a guy who really earned it by playing well for the A's last year in there tonight. Liner to left center field. That's safe. Ricky Henderson made a fine try for that ball. I don't know if he had it and it dropped out when he hit the ground or if he never had it.
I think it bounced, but the most important thing he did was keep the ball in front of him as Larkin just shot the ball to the left side and watch Ricky come in, make the dive and smother the ball at the same time. He had it right in front of him.
Great shot by Wally Miller and our TV crew.
Right off the end of the glove. Of course, in case you're not aware, the gloves are being checked this year along with the bats and who knows what else, as the gloves 12 inches in length from the palm to the top of the web. Some very large gloves used by especially outfielders in Major League Baseball.
Greg Gagne, the Twins shortstop, takes a breaking ball for a called strike. It's 1-0 Oakland leading. Twins batting in the second. They've had 3 hits off Dave Stewart. Gag had a pretty good year last year for the Twins. 9 homers. One ball, one strike. Boy, what a beautiful sight here. This great Coliseum filled to capacity. Great weather tonight.
And it had been overcast and cool over the weekend for the Bay Bridge series. A beautiful day today.
That's going to be a tough play. Gallego makes it. Runners go to second and third. There are 2 down. And the number 9 batter, Al Newman, comes on.
Ball hit like that, all you think about is getting 1 out. It's not hit hard enough to get a double play or even get the lead runner at second base.
Number 26.
Breaking ball that Gagnon hit off the end of the bat, and Dave Stewart going over to cover first base, but Gallego catching the ball and just making the easy toss to first, getting the 1 out. Of course, then looking immediately at third base in the event Brian Harper had thoughts of trying to score on him. Slow hit ball like that, but Harper as a catcher with not as much speed as another player.
Newman fouled this ball away. You really start thinking early in the year after watching what we did in spring training and then in the games today. These forkball pitchers have had a hard time throwing strikes so far, Ray, and keeping the ball up in the air. The Giant pitchers were having an awful time throwing the ball high enough for the catcher to catch it. And now you got tying runner over there at third base right now. Stu missed it outside. It's 1-1.
And another thing, because of the shortened spring training, catchers were not able to work on blocking balls in the dirt as much as they normally would. So you have a fork ball that you're trying to throw, and a catcher, although Terry Steinbach excellent at blocking balls thrown in the dirt.
The 5 for a ball, 2-1. Newman was really hot the last all about the last 2.5 months of the season. Hit almost 300 for the Twins from August 1st on. And he's up there right now where a base hit could give the Twins the lead. They're 2 down. We're in the second inning. That's a bullet, but it just missed outside. It's 3-1 now to Newman.
Al Newman getting a chance to start at second base. Wally Bachman going on to free agency. Newman, an excellent utility ball player, and play any of the infield positions, even some outfield. Getting an opportunity to start this season.
Carney Lansford digs this one out and hooks it over to McGuire, and it's a good thing Mark is tall. Side retired, no runs across for the Twins. The A's lead it 1-0.
Come on.
22nd on a Sunday. It's Wells Fargo Kids Opening Day. The first 20,000 youngsters 15 and under will each receive the entertaining Oakland A's Fun Book compliments of Wells Fargo. Puzzles, coloring pages, lots of fun activities. The A's take on the Mariners that afternoon. Game time is 1:05. Shark tickets by phone. Any of the Bass numbers here in the Bay Area, 415-762-BASS. Stop by the A's Coliseum box office, A's Clubhouse store in Southland Mall, or any of the Bass Ticketmaster centers. There are the numbers right there for you to look at. Hello, Reggie Jackson. Reggie Jackson just came in here.
Tell everybody hi.
All right, I'll do that.
You guys on the air?
You know we're on the air. You wouldn't be here.
For the Angels and none.
Huh? They just give you
Stan Javier hits the first pitch of the inning out into right field where Reggie Jackson used to play.
Hey, Reggie, we got it. We have to be on the air.
TV where you're from. What's the name of the town?
Porterville. They have TV down there once in a while.
People just like you, and they got a TV in front of here, but you're not going anywhere.
No, well, we don't.
Going down in the locker room.
Good place to go. Thanks, Reggie.
Have a great night.
Here is Mike Gallego with one out in the second inning.
Well, Reggie doing some work for the California Angels on their telecast.
He worked with Joe Torre down there. Joe's had just about as much trouble getting in words as you and I did just then. Oh, he knew we were on or he wouldn't have been here. Curve is low a ball. Well, Reggie went through a few opening seasons or opening nights of the season right here. But he had some very big closing games in this ballpark too. Closed some seasons, didn't he? 1 ball and 1 strike, 1 away. Second inning. Gallego takes a breaking ball for a called strike. Boy, Mike has been proving the last couple of days that he is ready to play, and he wanted the skipper to know it. He scored all the way from first.
From home.
From home, as a matter of fact. One of those Little League home runs. He bunted the ball, and the Giants kicked it around a while. Pitch is low for a ball. They didn't bunt that one. He hit it to second baseman. That's the one he hit second. Right?
And that was tailor-made double play if you've ever seen one. And the way it turned out, it was hysterical.
And he motored all the way around just to show everybody his hip pointer was healed and he's ready to play.
Well, I mentioned that on the air yesterday, and then I saw him today, and I said that you wanted to prove. And he said that's right, because there were still some doubts. He ran through a stop sign at third base and just kept running. Of course, when you get the momentum going, you don't want to stop anyway.
There's a fly ball down the line in right field. Well, Tony La Russa the other day, when someone asked him about his second baseman, he said, I've got the best second baseman in the game right now. And he said, I used to think that, he said, I always thought that Dick Green was the best second baseman the A's ever had. And he said, I put Mike Gallego right with Dick Green. And I'll tell you, that tells me a lot, because I thought Green was the best he ever had, too.
Saw Dick Green make a lot of great plays, but Mike Gallego, opening night, a special night for him.
Pitch is fouled off. Well, a thing he can do that Dick Green didn't do, and that's move over and play shortstop as well as anybody can play it, too.
Of course, I think we all know who watch Dick Green on a regular basis. He'd like to have so much fun on the field, off the, just all the time, that if he dedicated himself to stay in shape, he'd have been even greater than he was.
Pitch is popped into right. Randy Bush working on this one, and it's his second out of the inning. Well, up comes a guy for the Oakland A's now that I think is destined to become one of the finest shortstops ever. Walt Weiss.
Number 7.
All right. Well, this year I'd like to personally get more involved in the offense, put up some better offensive numbers, and defensively really just go out and my job is to make the plays day in and out, be consistent at shortstop. So if I could do that this year, I'll be real happy with my personal goals.
Switch hitting shortstop, hits it deep in the hole. It's going to take a great throw to get him. And here's the great throw by Gagne. Man, what a play by the shortstop of the Twins. And the pitcher's going to wait and shake his hand as he goes by. There it is right there. 3 up, 3 down in the second inning. It's still 1-0 Oakland. Man, he gunned that ball. Latest one, it's right directly behind home plate and right directly under where we broadcast. It's one of the best seats in the house, and they are available with plush furniture, television sets, wall-to-wall carpeting, kitchen areas, all the comforts of home. Skybox is available seasonally or on an individual game basis. For more information, call 638-4900 extension 875. Bring your group to Skybox. I tell you, that is the best location in the ballpark right there, and what a beautiful one that is.
Of course, the other views are not that bad either in the other skyboxes. And our view is very nice from right here, too.
Here's Dan Gladden. Pops it up into right center field. Closing on it is Jose Canseco for his first play of the year. And there's one out here in the third inning. Well, the A's will play tomorrow night at 7:35. Have a couple of strange starting times here the first two nights. Opening night, 8 o'clock. Wanted all the ceremonies to be seen by everybody. And then tomorrow night, it'll be nationally televised on ESPN. So 7:35 start. And Bob Welch gets a start tomorrow night against Roy Smith of the Twins. Hope you're here. See the A's and the Twins tomorrow night at 7:35. Big breaking ball in the dirt to Randy Bush. He struck out in the first inning.
And Bob was, I'm sure, very happy to get back to the Oakland Coliseum out of spring training.
Yep.
Had a tough time in spring training, but it's amazing what starting the regular season does for a pitcher. And Bob, a very good pitcher.
Good forkball right there. Well, Tony La Russa was asked by some of the reporters about if he were concerned about Bob Welch's spring training, and Tony said no, he's throwing free and easy. His arm looks good. He feels good. He's in great shape, and he's a great pitcher. Ball jerk foul out of play. And Bob has always pitched well in this ballpark. His 2 years here, he's won 17 games each year for the A's. And those things are not forgotten. Bob was, I guess, the A's player who suffered the most from the damage of the earthquake. His house that he had bought over in San Francisco, I guess, is just about now being ready for occupation, isn't it?
It's in the Marina District, but he's right back there this year.
Foul back. First Wednesday afternoon game of the season. It's coming up at 12:15 against the Twins this Wednesday. That'll be Mike Moore's first start. Ground ball up the middle. Gallego makes a dive but can't get to it. It's through there for a base hit for Randy Bush. Hit number 4 for the Twins. The A's lead it 1-0.
Like that might have been the fork ball from Dave Stewart that got up a little. Mike Gallego had been shading Bush over more as a pull hitter, and Randy Bush took it up the middle.
And here's Kirby, who got a base hit and a stolen base his first time up. There's Wade Boggs' name on there. He stepped right up today and got base hit. I think he had 2 in that game today for Boston. That's ball 1 to Kirby. Talking to Tom Kelly, he said, man, I don't know what to expect from my pitching staff so far this year. He said, I got a good on-the-field ball club. I know that.
Well, the good thing that Tom Kelly had this last year in September, he got a chance to see a lot of the young pitchers. Of course, several being obtained from the New York Mets in the trade which sent Frank Viola to the Mets last year. But at least he got to see them in September because they were not in contention. Normally, if you are, you don't get a chance to see a lot of the young ball players, and with a shortened spring training, that helped him tremendously to be able to see those pitchers perform for him in September.
Randy, the Twins run a lot with Kirby hitting right here. You think 1 out, a runner at first base, and he's a guy who makes contact, gets a lot of base hits. They run a lot with him.
I would have to think they would run with him. He's, again, you don't necessarily want to hold him back because of the possibility of hitting a home run, because he's not hitting as many home runs anymore.
There was the fork ball to him, down and in. 2 balls and 1 strike.
But it definitely helps your running game if you have a hitter at the plate who does make contact. Of course, you get the middle infielders moving to cover second base, depending on who is covering. That opens up one side or the other. And with Kirby pitching him, you just have to change your plan, how you want to pitch him. And he's kind of the old school of hitting bad pitches hard, and he can do that.
Gets that one very high in the shallow center field. Hindu's got it. They're 2 down. Well, that California Angels Seattle game now. Seattle is leading 7-4. They're in the 9th inning.
The batter, first baseman.
And their stopper Mike Schooler in for them. Their closer.
There's a look at the best scoreboard in the big leagues right there. You can look up there at any time during the game and find out what the score is and all the other games going on. So many of them today in this computerized age and big scoreboards don't leave room for all the games at once. Flash one up there to you once in a while, and you're looking at your neighbor, you forget it. You miss it. The A's playing Herbeck as a dead pull hitter on the infield, but fairly well straight away in the outfield, Ray.
Well, you figure a lot of times a hitter will hit the ball on the ground. He'll pull it, but as far as hitting the ball in the air, sometimes straight away. So that's why you have different positioning in the outfield as well as the infield.
And if he pulls in the air, the outfield is going to go. It doesn't matter where you're playing anyway. He's been a better clutch hitter than that over the years. .234 average with runners on base. Can't believe the statistics available to us in baseball today. And I noticed USA Today is going to have an all-new box score. They're going to have everything in that box score now. Great pitch right there.
Well, Dave Stewart throwing an excellent fastball tonight. Don't know how much he's been able to throw his fork ball and his curve ball. But when you have the good fastball, as Dave has had tonight, you can go to the corners and you can depend on that to be your out pitch.
The good thing about him in the last 2 or 3 years is if he doesn't have one of those pitches going, he goes to the others. He's always got one of them working pretty well.
Step-off move by Dave Stewart. Pitchers for the Athletics will use it to make that quick move a lot of times to try to determine if that runner at first base is going to run. A lot of times they'll flinch towards second base, give the opportunity for the catcher to call a pitch out.
Right where the A's are playing him. Mike Gallego throws him out. No runs, 1 hit, 1 left in the middle of the third. The A's and Dave Stewart lead it 1-0.
It is a race from California to New York. Can I try that? To win America's favorite.
Over in Honolulu, get to watch the World Champions this year. There's a look at the Oakland A's television network. Let's step inside and let those people identify themselves.
This is KPIX, San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose.
And back at the Oakland Coliseum, Monty Moore along with Ray Fosse and our A's television network crew back intact again this year. Now we've got a good one going for you here on opening night. Ricky Henderson skied out to center field his first time up. A graduate of Oakland Technical High School right here in town. Takes the first pitch for a call strike. Graduated from high school in 1976. He was a baseball, basketball, and football star and all league in several of them. That pitch was a no pitch because he'd asked for time as the pitcher was just about getting ready to throw. Ricky played with some pretty well-known big leaguers around this area, such as Dave Stewart and Lloyd Mosby. Ricky rips that ball to left field, and running Rick is on for the first time in 1990. And Ray, he doesn't like a whole lot of bases to become the best base stealer in the history of the game.
68 to be exact, and Ricky Henderson getting his first hit of the season. And the thing about Ricky, because he has the power, the outfielders cannot shade him shallow. They have to play him, give him respect, and play him deep. And that ball hit very hard, but Gladden, because he was playing deep, was not able to get to the ball.
Ricky ran up a little flag that time on the left-hander, but didn't go, and a curveball to Lansford was called a strike. Ricky was thrown out only 6 times last year while stealing 58 bases. Carney hit the ball in the air to left center field pretty well, but it's hanging up there in this night air. Puckett dropped the ball. Henderson ends up at third base, and Lansford at second. Well, it looked as though Henderson and Gladden and Puckett ran together out there.
Well, a little communication problem it looked like, because ball hit in left center. Kirby Puckett going over, Dan Gladden both right there, and it fell right between them. And of course, usually the center fielder is the one who controls the area out in center field, left center, right center. But the important thing, Ricky Henderson was already at second base. He knew he would be able to get back in plenty of time at first base if the ball was caught. He was at second, of course, able to get to third base easily, and Carney hustling into second base.
And now the Twins are going to play back for Jose Canseco, who gets a chance to pick up his first RBI of the year. Foul tips that ball into the catcher's mitt. Well, Ray, Jose said one thing in spring training that certainly makes a lot of sense. He said, with those guys in front of me, I should knock in a lot of runs this year. And here's his chance to start. He could do it even with a ground ball. He could knock in at least one here. One ball, one strike count.
Well, no doubt Jose Canseco has become a much smarter hitter. And you mentioned before how he's willing to take a walk. A big hole between first and second. Anderson stays outside with him with a fastball running away from him. He may just try to shoot the ball to the right side to get the runner over to third and get an RBI in.
There's a letter pitch down low, and you're thinking, if as you're watching this pitching performance right here, is almost as if he's pitching around Jose to not to get to Mark McGwire, but to get to McGwire with a possibility of a double play.
There you can see the big hole between first and second as Newman playing very close to the second base bag. But if he continues to throw the off-speed pitch, it's going to be very hard for Jose to hit the ball to the right side. He's not going to be up there having an inside-out swing as some hitters do.
One of his home runs this spring has been to right center field. What he did last year with men in scoring position, 359 average. Got under that one. Boy, what a swing he took.
Well, the thing with Anderson, because he has the off-speed pitch and will throw it anytime, you can't really have that great swing on 3 and 2. It's tough to look for fastball because if he takes a little off, throws a changeup, or has a sinking fastball, you can be out front too far. But Jose quick enough, he can still hit it hard.
Batted him, and that's ball 4. That's the second walk Jose has had tonight, and it brings up Mark McGwire with the bases loaded and nobody down.
Well, Alan Anderson last year, great success on the road as he has record of 11-5, only 6-5 at the Metrodome. He had a 2.24 earned run average on the road, over 6 at the Metrodome.
So he's in a heap of trouble right here. Mark hits it up in the air into right center. That ought to get one home, even though it's not really deep. It is Ricky Henderson running. Puckett makes the catch. He's going to throw it to third. 2-0 Oakland. From McGwire, who's one of the best sacrifice fly men in the American League. Comes through again. He gets one there.
And it helps having that man on third base because you don't have to hit the ball very deep to get an RBI. And once again, Kirby Puckett, as we saw Dan Gladden make the throw home on Dave Henderson's base hit, RBI. Kirby Puckett came up and threw immediately to third base. He was not even going to test or try to get Ricky Henderson at home. Possibility of overthrowing the cutoff men, allowing Carney Lansford to go to third base. Carney bluffed, but got back.
When you talk about goals, I really set goals and standards for World Series, and that's what it's all about. Anything less would be upsetting to us as a team and me, and whatever it takes for us to win the World Series, that's what I want to do.
And that's Dave Henderson on his personal goal for the season, and a lot of the players who taped these just a night prior to the ball game talk in terms of team goals rather than individual. Lansford back in at second base.
Well, on Carney Lansford's ball, which was hit to left center, originally went up as an error, but they have changed it now. It's a base hit or a double for Carney Lansford.
Well, it fell cleanly out there, even though it could have been caught. That's why I was wondering about it. I held up making the announcement. The official scorers get the benefit of something the umpires don't get, and that's a replay.
Well, they don't give mental errors in the game. It's just physical errors, statistically.
Well, Carney will take that.
Absolutely.
Gives him 2 for 2 tonight. Henderson fouls it back. Well, if you like to be a foul ball target, get your group to rent that new box, that luxury box right under us, because brother, foul balls whistle up here A lot of them. There's that box right there. And that is foul ball haven, believe me. Well, Dave's taking some rips up there, isn't he?
For the Oakland Athletics this year, predominantly right-handed hitting lineup, as in tonight's ball game with Stan Javier and Walt Weiss switch hitters. An entirely hitting lineup from the right side. Left-handed pitchers. Just one of those hitter after hitter. He's facing a potential home run from the Oakland Athletics.
Close, a good pitch on that count.
And interesting about a left-hander pitching, because his ball does tail away from a right-handed hitter, you might get more home runs from a right-handed pitcher that you would a left-handed pitcher, because that ball is sinking away and you hit more on the ground.
Let's see if Tony starts the runners here. He's running them, and Hindu's fouling it back. Lance from second, Canseco from first. One down. We're in the third inning on opening night 1990. The A's lead the Twins 2-0. Texas has won tonight. Nolan Ryan pitched that ball game. I don't know how long he went, but we'll find out for you. They beat Toronto 4-2. Boston beat Detroit 5-2. Runners are going again, and it's ball 4. Ray, I just imagine that besides physically, it's an emotional drain to just pitch left-hander against right-hander through this lineup all night long. There's no let-up.
Well, again, as I mentioned before, just having guys with the power.
My personal goals for the 1990 season are to put together a solid half. The past 2 seasons, I've had a good offensive half in each of the 2 years. So this year, I'm going to try to put together a good, solid year. Defensively, just handle the fantastic pitching staff that we have.
And there's the man who was talking, Terry Steinbach, after that off-speed pitch. Well, he has certainly gained a lot of stature in Major League Baseball the last couple of years with his All-Star game performances and just his daily work with the A's. Not only handling his staff, he does a lot of things around this ball club that make him very valuable. Fly ball, foul ground down the line and left and out of play. What a spot this would be for Steiny's first hit of the year. Dan Gladden ran right off Minry's cap. He showed him a fastball, but the way he'd been pitching him tonight, I'd be surprised if he threw one for a strike.
Well, Brian Harper, his catcher, sat way outside, almost to say, if you catch the corner, fine. If not, that's fine. We're not going to give you a fastball good enough to hit.
Reaches for that one. Could be a double play. They go home for one. They will not get 2. But they got the leading man. Stanley had to reach out for that one and didn't get much on it. It's a good pitch. Canseco goes to third, Henderson to second. Steinbach ends up at first on the fielder's choice.
Well, it was an off-speed pitch, possibly even a ball, but to third base, Gary Gaetti trying to just get the lead runner. Brian Harper not even thinking about turning 2 by going to first base.
My personal goal for this season, well, trying to have a very consistent year at the plate and trying to play good defense and repeat, trying to help this team to repeat to win the world champion again.
Stan Javier, who filled some big shoes last year in his own way, helping when Canseco was hurt, had a great first half of the season for the A's. 1-0 count to him. 2-0 now. Oh, Anderson's thrown him a couple of hard fastballs.
They stand on the outside part of the plate, and Stan Javier hits his best when he goes up the middle to the right side, whether he's hitting right-handed or left-handed. And with the big hole on the right side, be a perfect placement if Anderson stays outside with the fastball.
Fouled it back. 2 balls and a strike. The A's had a bases loaded, no out situation. So far, they had manufactured only 1 run out of that situation. Mark McGwire's sacrifice fly. More in the National League today, the Pirates jumped all over Doc Gooden and the Mets. The Mets used 7 pitchers in that game. Lou Piniella won his first game as the manager of the Cincinnati Reds today. They beat Houston in 11 innings. Dodgers rallied, came from behind, and beat San Diego 4-2. Their new player hit a 3-run homer to do it.
It's important right here for Dave Henderson with 2 outs to get a good jump as the outfield not playing that deep with Stan Javier hitting. He can go on contact with the 2 outs.
Still 2-2. Stan Javier, whose dad was a major league player. Infielder for the St. Louis Cardinals.
Julian Javier, used to watch him when I was growing up down in Southern Illinois. Julian playing for the Cardinals.
How's Javier? Stan Javier last year even played on the infield for the A's one night. Played second base, made a double play. Pops it up off first base towards the stands. Herbeck will run out of room. Javier's giving him a battle up here with the bases loaded and 2 out. A hit right here could really turn this ball game into a tough situation for Minnesota. The A's lead at 2-0 now.
One of the things a right-handed hitter has to try to avoid, as we saw with Terry Steinbach, and that's with an off-speed pitcher, a left-handed pitcher thrown to the right-handed hitter. Avoid trying to open up with the front foot. You want to try to have that front foot go towards the pitcher so that if he throws you the off-speed pitch outside, you have not opened your shoulders and hips to the point that you can't reach the ball.
Right up the middle she goes. A base hit. Canseco scores. Henderson's right behind him. The throw's going to third. It's cut off. And Javier gets into second. Nobody's covering there. Boy, there was a throw that might have gone to third. And they had a chance to get Steinbach. But Gagne cut it off. Nobody was covering second. The A's 4-0.
I'm just talking about take the pitch right up the middle. Right back up the middle to Stein Javier. And great aggressive base running as we saw this weekend. And you see Dave Henderson scoring from second. The throw going to third would not have been enough time to get Terry Steinbach, and hustling Stan Javier saw that nobody at second base easily with a head first slide. And just aggressive, great base running by the Athletics.
Well, what a terrific at-bat for Stan Javier. He battled and battled and battled. Gallego takes a curve low, and a base hit right here could really do some damage to the Twins.
Well, first of all, one of my main goals is to get a lot more playing time than I had in the past. I think I'm going to have a good opportunity of doing that, and I'm looking forward to it. But another goal of mine is to be even more consistent at the plate than I was last year, and hopefully be known as a good, solid, tough out at the plate.
Well, he was a tough out right there, but he hit it to right field. The A's score 3 and lead 4-0. Saturday night, then we'll go down to Anaheim on the 17th, a Tuesday night at 7:30, and then at Baltimore, April 24th, Tuesday at 4:30 in the afternoon, our next television.
Travel arranged through U.S. Air, the official airline of Universal Studios Hollywood. This spring, fly to the stars on U.S. Air.
We mentioned to you that this game is being broadcast in Japanese back to Japan. I don't know what time it is back there, but here's what they heard on Stan Javier's base hit a moment ago. There it is.
Can you repeat
we have
that?
some people who understood that. Believe it, listening tonight.
Can you repeat it?
No, sir. All right, here we go to the top half of the 4th inning. Gary Gaetti leads it off for the Minnesota Twins against Dave Stewart. Yeah, and he popped it short his only time up tonight. Breaking ball low for ball one. Well, that guy's enthusiastic, and it was an exciting play.
Another test for Dave Stewart, as 53 pitches in the first 3 innings. He had a long time in the dugout during the A's bottom half of the 3rd inning. They scored 3 times. So this time of the year, it might not be so good as it might be in a hot part of the summer after Dave Stewart is in shape.
And he pops this one foul over the A's dugout and out of play.
Let me rephrase that. I shouldn't say when he's in shape. He's in shape right now. It's whenever he's had more starts.
It's interesting, Ray, in talking with the players down in spring training on what they did this winter to stay in shape. All of them had some kind of a program going. And, of course, Dave Stewart's a big runner. He runs a lot, but he did a lot of other things, too. The thing I don't know about, I didn't ask him how much throwing you did during the winter. Some pitchers throw some and some don't throw any.
Well, Mike Moore actually started throwing this year earlier than he'd ever thrown.
Right, he hits in the air behind third. That's Walt Weiss going out there. Makes the catch and foul ground. There's one out here in the 4th.
But I think the most important thing for the players, and the players who we'll see in the best shape this early in the season, will be the players who went to the warmer climates. I was really surprised to hear or read of a lot of players who were living in the colder parts of the country. They stayed at home. They didn't go to the warmer part of spring training in Florida or Arizona. As a result, they weren't able to throw in the good conditions.
Well, Dave came out ready to throw last year. He won his first 6 decisions last year. Harper takes outside. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 down. We're in the 4th inning. The Athletics are leading the Twins 4-0 in the 1990 home opener. Play here again tomorrow night at 7:35. It'll be Bob Welch for the A's, Roy Smith for the Twins. Harper pulls it foul. Right on by Rick Rennick, who's the third base coach for the Twins.
Brian Harper was saying around the batting cage tonight, a special night for him because this is his first opener as a catcher. He said, I played in the outfield as an opener, but not a real position like catching.
Dave Henderson makes another catch out in left center, and they're 2 down in the 4th. Twins have had 4 hits. They've all been singles. 2 of them were back-to-back in the 2nd inning by Harper and Larkin, but then Stu got Gagne and Newman both on infield groundouts.
Designated hitter, Gene Larkin.
Strike is 1-1. Tom Kelly, skipper of the Twins, told me before the game tonight, Ray, that this is the nightmare division, the Western Division of the American League. And he said the reason I say that is that every night you're going to go to bed having nightmares about who you're playing the next day, because he says everybody in the division can knock you off any night.
Well, Tony La Russa was saying basically the same thing about the first 3 series the A's will have this year, facing the Twins, then Seattle, and then the California Angels. For Seattle tonight with a final, beating California in their opener 7-4 down at Anaheim.
White Sox won today 2-1. Ball sliced off in the left. That's going to take a long run for Ricky Henderson. He gets there, makes the grab. A great running catch by Ricky Henderson down the line in left field.
Great speed by Ricky Henderson, all out, keeping his eye on the ball. And all the way, no snatch catch necessary right there, just catch the ball. An outstanding play.
And the A's still lead it 4-0. It's all night long where you just can't make a mistake. It wears you out. Here's a guy who led the American League in earned run average last year, Alan Anderson. Tom's giving Berenger a little bit more time to get loose out there. If indeed he is going to make a change, you feel surely that he will. Well, remember tomorrow night, Bob Welch gets the start for the A's against Roy Smith in the 7:35 game. Looks as if he's not going to make the change right now, Ray.
Well, I'm sure Berenger was ready.
Connie Lansford told us about his personal goals before the game tonight.
I think the only goal that I have set for myself is we get back in the World Series and do the best we can and just go out every day this year and play like we're capable of playing.
Carney Lansford just hit one to the left of third base. Gaetti picked it up. Walt Weiss was coming on contact that time. The throw was way off line at the plate, and Weiss scored the A's 5th run.
And that was without an out in the inning. That's something you normally try with one out, maybe. But Walt getting in a tremendous jump. Carney hitting the ball on the left side. Gaetti in the excellent arm. Coming home with the throw is off the line a little. I think he might have been a little surprised to see Walt Weiss running on that.
No, I was too.
Because he took the throw to his left and then turned around, and then the throw was offline.
Well, Lansford gets his first run batted in of the year on the fielder's choice. Canseco with runners first and second, still nobody down. Ricky Henderson drawing a throw at second. He barely got back in that time. Newman holding him close. If they let him get that kind of a lead, he'll steal third.
Well, I don't know that he has to get that big of a lead to steal third.
Yeah.
As great as he is at doing that. And he had a tremendous lead. When you see the head first slide, Ricky Henderson probably the best at doing that. Getting the hand back in under the tag or before the tag.
Jose takes a curve low for a ball.
One thing we're seeing it already tonight, first game of the season, that with Ricky Henderson at second base, that pulls the second baseman or shortstop over. In this case, the second baseman opens up a tremendous hole to the right side.
There's a look at the stolen base statistics that show Ricky the 4th best of all time, but he'll be number 1 before the year's over, more than likely. Whew, what a lead he's got right now. It's a huge lead. He didn't go, and Jose missed on this one.
Now, one thing Carney Lansford's doing at first base, he's also getting a good lead because Herbeck is behind him, but he's trying to keep his eye on Ricky to see if he runs, and he wants to make sure that he runs hard also, because a lot of times the catcher, knowing that he doesn't have a chance to get Ricky at third, will throw to second base, try to get the back door runner. So Carney looking at Ricky.
One hopper. They're going to go to second for 1 and the first for 2. Henderson ends up at third on Canseco's double play ball.
The batter.
Now Mark McGuire.
Mark McGuire.
He has driven in 1 run tonight. 4 different A's players have driven in runs. Mark got under that one. Gaetti makes the catch and foul ground. That's all for the A's. They add 1 more here in the 4th, and it is 5-0 Oakland.
Creating a good start in this ball game. In the bottom of the first, Carney Lansford single, Jose Canseco with a walk, and with 2 outs, Dave Henderson, big clutch base hit to give the A's their first run of the ball game. Then in the bottom of the 3rd inning, the A's once again, Ricky Henderson leadoff single, Carney Lansford double, Jose Canseco walk, Mark McGuire with a sacrifice fly, and then after that, it was Henderson walking, then Stan Javier, a big 2-out base hit to center field, scoring Canseco and Dave Henderson. Then in the 4th inning, Walt Weiss single, Ricky Henderson double, and then Carney Lansford on a ground ball to third baseman Gary Gaetti. Walt Weiss going on contact, scored easily. A's 4-0 here in the top half of the 5th inning.
Craig Gagne for the Minnesota Twins. 2 balls and no strikes. That one sailed and it's ball 3.
Well, pitch counts, Dave Stewart. I have 67 after the 4th inning. It's 3 here. That's 70 so far in this ball game. And Dave Stewart down in spring training throwing about 75 to 80, the maximum. And this is one part that Tony La Russa is not happy about. He felt that the 3-inning rule to give a pitcher a win after 3 innings, this is where he feels it's very important, this part of the ball game.
That ball is really hit right there. And it is gone. Greg Gagne, it's a home run on a 3-1 count. His first of the year, and it's the first run for the Twins tonight.
And he has power. Matter of fact, something you don't like to mention, but he has 1 grand slam, and it's off Dave Stewart at the Metrodome 2 years ago. And the A's fans, evidently not liking the baseball, threw it back in. Gagne getting the home run, hit the ball well, hit the bleachers. And the fans running for it, and something that is happening in a lot of Major League ballparks when a visiting player hits a home run, they throw the baseball back on the field.
Frank Sinchek loves that. He's the keeper of the balls for the A's. This pitch is inside to Al Newman. It's a 5-1 ball game now.
But what I was talking about with Tony La Russa, what he's concerned, for example, right now, Dave Stewart needs to go through 5 innings to get a potential win or a possible win. But if he's on that borderline of where he possibly should be coming up because of the number of pitches, Tony feels obligated to keep him in the ball game. And that's where he feels that there's going to be a lot of pitchers in baseball hurt in this first month of the season because of that no 3-inning rule.
Gallego's got it to Dave Stewart, who's right where he's supposed to be. And there's 1 away. Ray, on the other hand, a lot of the pitchers, Nolan Ryan in particular, spoke out vehemently against that 3-inning rule. He felt, let's keep it pure.
Fastball on the inside part, and Dave Stewart immediately reacting, getting over to the right side. Well, you're talking about a couple of athletes, and Dave Stewart, Nolan Ryan. There are several in baseball, many to be matter of fact, who are very well conditioned. And I think from the standpoint of keeping it pure, no asterisks, that's fine. But yet to the extent of hurting a player, I don't know if that's fine sometimes.
Walt Weiss throws out Dan Gladden. There are 2 down here in the 5th.
Now Tony La Russa and Dave Duncan, or Dave Stewart, have proved me wrong. Stewart probably go 9 and throw about 125 pitches.
Well, if anybody in baseball could do it, he's the guy.
But I know Tony La Russa did mention that in spring training. That kind of on the bubble type thing where you're just in between.
Here's Randy Bush. He's had one of the Twins' hits tonight. They have 5. That Gagne definitely hits the long ball against the A's.
He does.
And he made a great play at shortstop tonight to get Walt Weiss. He's a fine player. Fork ball hit the bat for a foul strike.
Good fork ball from Dave Stewart. You get the point as a hitter. You see that your club is trailing. You start looking fastball first pitch. Dave Stewart, Terry Steinbach working very well. The off-speed pitch on the first pitch. There's another one.
Gallego. So it started off a little shaky for Dave. He went to 3-0 and then 3-1, and Gagne hit one out. He got the next 3 guys on groundouts in the infield, and it's 5-1 Oakland.
New York at Shea Stadium by a score of 12-3. As mentioned earlier, Doc Gooden taking the loss in that ball game. Van Slyke homering twice for Pittsburgh. Also Bobby Bonilla, Johnson, and Lyons for New York. San Diego losing to Los Angeles 4-2. Bruce Hurst had a no-hitter going into 7 innings, but he ended up losing that ball game. Lynn and Brooks homering in the game. Philadelphia, Chicago, their opener was rained out. St. Louis defeated Montreal 6-5 in that ball game. No home runs. Daly picking up the win. Burke the loser. And Cincinnati behind Lou Piniella in his first win as a manager in the National League, winning 8-4 over Houston. That ball game going 11 innings with Cincinnati coming up with 4 in the top of the 11th inning. Duncan homering for Cincinnati. Myers the winner, Kerfield the loser. Here the A's leading by a score of 5-1 in the bottom of the 5th inning.
And here's a guy who got one of those runs for the A's with a 2-out single in the first inning, Dave Henderson.
And a new pitcher for the Twins, Juan Berenguer, 9-3 in 1989, and he's a workhorse. 56 ball games, picked up 3 saves on the season.
Breaking ball's called strike. He throws hard. He's got a good slider.
And a good fork ball. He learned from Roger Craig and San Francisco Giants when he pitched, actually when he pitched for Detroit, picked it up from Craig.
Anderson worked 4 innings, gave up 5 runs, 7 base hits, walked 3, struck out 1. Two balls, 2 strikes on Hindu. He'll be followed by Steinbach and Javier here in the 5th. He got him. There's 1 down. Well, it's great to see the Haas family out here enjoying this as they did tonight, Ray. Mr. Walter Haas, the owner, out here with a split lip. He got hit with a foul ball the other night.
He was at Candlestick Park, and a ball, he was up against the batting cage. The ball came back off the bat of Dave Henderson. Foul ball came back, hit the net, and just hit his lip. You know, it's amazing. Here he had stitches and all kinds of surgery on it. You know what he said? You know, I'm a lucky man. It could have hit me and knocked my teeth out or hit me in the eye. He is such a great man. It's unbelievable.
What he told me tonight. Breaking ball in for a called strike, and Baron Garrett presenting an altogether different look to these A's hitters right now.
It's interesting. Mr. Haas came back the next day, which would be yesterday here at the Coliseum, and of course right back here opening night. He wouldn't miss this for the world.
Or for the World Series. Well, as he said in some interviews recently, family put a lot of money into the ball club, not to make money, but to have a successful baseball operation for the community, and boy, have they done that. Steinbach rips one to left, but Gladden is there to haul it in. That's a good 2-strike swing.
See that Terry Steinbach put in the good swing on from the right-hander, the hard-throwing right-hander, whereas the left-hander had him off balance out in front too far. Ball down and in. Terry dropped the head of the bat on it, very similar to what he did in the home run over at Candlestick Park on Saturday in the Babe Ruth series.
Now here's switch hitting Stan Javier, the DH tonight, drove in a couple of runs with a 2-out single. Pops this one into shallow center field. Puckett comes for it. Makes the catch, and Baron Gear has a 1-2-3 inning. We go to the 6th. The A's lead at 5-1.
I didn't think racing the cable car was going to be that tough until I saw the hill that they selected. Go! I sprinted out and got to an early lead, and about halfway up, I was really feeling good. And then about 3/4 of the way up, I knew I was really in trouble. Running up that hill that day full speed was physically one of the toughest things I've ever done.
When you think about sports, think about Wayne Walker.
It's the last time for that hill.
You guessed it, Jill. Trout on a stick. Like all our new entrees, it's frugal, filling,
and convenient, too.
Bravo.
Do you ever wonder if airline executives actually eat the food they serve you?
Croutons.
Not just croutons, Jill. Dipped in oil. Jumbo croutons. Takes up lots of room in salad, saving on costly lettuce.
I like it. At Alaska Airlines, our top executives eat our food twice a week because we won't ever serve you a meal we wouldn't enjoy ourselves.
Share the success during National Cadillac Week with a bonus of up to $2,000 on America's leading luxury automobiles. And when you take a test drive, you'll be eligible for use of a Cadillac for 2 weekend days at participating U.S. Avis locations. Join the National Cadillac Week celebration, April 7th through the 15th. See your Bay Area Cadillac dealers.
On our next, a current affair exclusive, death of a groupie.
A current affair tomorrow at 7 on KPIX Channel 5.
Well, it's the 23rd anniversary of the A's in Oakland tonight, but in honor of Bugs Bunny's 50th anniversary on Saturday, April 21st, the A's are going to give the first 15,000 kids, 15 and under, a white visor with the A's and Bugs Bunny logo on the bill. a special Looney Tunes pregame show featuring Ray Fosse before the A's and the Mariners play at 1:05. To charge your ticket by phone, call any of the Bass numbers you see on the screen right there, or the A's Clubhouse store in Southland Mall, or any of the Bass Ticketmaster centers, including the Warehouse, Tower Record Video, and Emporium Capwells. And that's all, folks. I didn't say it very well. I don't dare try to do that. 1 ball and no strikes on Kirby Puckett here in the 6th. Stewart has not walked anybody in the game. He has struck out 1. Going to take a tough play to get him. Stu's foot slipped just as he picked the ball up.
Might have been the best thing that happened, too, because he was going to have to try to rush the throw, maybe throw off balance. And the main thing that it was not throw once he did slip. But here's Kirby Puckett. This how a lot of ways that Kirby Puckett gets over 200 hits a year. Nothing against it either, but good speed, placing the ball in the right way. But Dave Stewart planting the right foot and slipping as he got ready to throw the ball. Very wisely did not throw, as we see Gene Nelson throwing in the A's bullpen.
And Kent Herbeck at the plate. Hits it in the air to deep left field. Ricky Henderson is just short of the warning track. Picking it off. Puckett going for second. So's the throw. It's there. Oh, just a fraction late. What a throw by Ricky Henderson. He flew the ball all the way to second base, right on the bag from the warning track.
Oh, Ricky's showing just about everything that he can do in tonight's ball game. And again, so much talk about his offense. But here, Herbeck, a left-handed hitter, hitting the ball this far. Ricky immediately knowing the base runner that Puckett, opportunity to tag, and a perfect throw right on the bag, and Kirby Puckett just barely making it. And that was not ideal setting up to throw either. He caught the ball over his head, then had to regroup and throw and make a strong throw like that.
And second base umpire Rick Reed was right on it. Kirby was definitely in there, but what a throw. Here's Gary Gaetti now. Sliders outside, ball 1. Gaetti twice has popped up to the shortstop in this ball game. Twins got their run on a homer by Greg Gagne in the 5th inning. Two balls and no strikes. You don't like to pitch to this guy behind in the count because he's one of those who can definitely hit it out too. Missed, but it missed somewhere. Stu's looking long and hard at Joe Brinkman. Puts him behind the count 3-0. Look at it again. Oh, man. Oh, that's a pretty good looking pitch.
They've had a few words at Kirby Puckett saying, you're in the same position as I am. What it looked like.
Can't call that one anything but a strike. It's 3-1 now.
This is a guy you hate to have to come in with good fastballs. Dave, even on 3-0, thinking he might be swinging, kept the pitch on the outside part of the plate.
Right to the shortstop. What a pitch that was on 3-1. As Ray mentioned just before he said it, the last pitch, 3-0 was at the outside part of the plate. There's Terry Cooney of Fresno.
Good pitchers don't even think about the middle of the plate. See where the pitch is, right outside. Gary Gaetti, all he could do is take his top hand, roll it over, because he'd already committed with his body. Instead of not swinging, just had the rollover with the top hand, and more times than not, you're going to get a ground ball to the shortstop or third baseman, as Gary Gaetti did.
Here's Brian Harper, and he fouls it off with a good cut. He's had 1 hit tonight, and he's skied out to center field. Well, this is the 90th year of the Oakland A's, or of the Athletics franchise, and the 23rd season in Oakland. Oh, it doesn't seem like it's been that long. We packed everything up in Kansas City and moved out here in 1968. Actually moved here in '67, the fall of the year. Base hit center field. Puckett may try to score. He's rounding third and coming home, and the throw is going to be cut off right on the mound. Well, Brian Harper continues his outstanding hitting, and the Twins are creeping back into this thing. It is 5-2 now.
Well, with this hitting lineup that the Twins can throw at you, you never get too too good of a feeling saying, well, this one's over with the 5-1 lead, because they keep coming back. Of course, they have the power to be able to put a couple on the board very quickly.
And that might be offers too right there. They signal for Carney Lansford to go out of the third base area over the mound, and here comes Tony.
But you can credit Kirby Puckett for that run a lot, hustling to second base on the fly ball. Otherwise, he's out and the inning's over with the ground ball that Gary Gaetti hit. That would have been a tailor-made double play.
So Tony's going to ask for the ball from his #1 man, and Stu is going to give it over to that man. Great round of applause for the A's ace of the staff, Dave Stewart. And we'll be back with the score 5-2 Oakland.
This call to the bullpen is brought to you by AT&T, the right choice.
Yeah, I'm busy, but I still like to keep in touch with the guys in LA. And the guys in Kansas City. Give me a way to say when I want to call.
AT&T can design a Reach Out America plan to please anyone, even the toughest customer.
Bo knows long distance.
Champion A's meet the Mariners Saturday at 7 on KPIX5, your Bay Area sports station.
Punk rocker Sam McBride is behind bars awaiting trial for murder. Police say Sammy choked his groupie girlfriend to death. He might have gotten away with it, but a key witness who saw the story on A Current Affair gave our John Johnston evidence that police say cracked the case.
He said he strangled her, and he said he blacked out.
Exclusive, death of a groupie.
A Current Affair, tomorrow at 7 on KPIX Channel 5.
Well, the Athletics coming on to pitch in the bottom of the 6th inning. Right-hander Gene Nelson, last year 50 appearances for the Athletics. First year in several years that he had not had at least one start. 3-5, had 3 saves for the ball club. See the rest of his numbers, 80 innings pitched. Gene Nelson, very capable of pitching long out of the bullpen, short, doing a number of things, and also in the starting rotation.
Facing Gene Larkin with a man on at first, and Nelson's first pitch is low for ball 1. So we'll find out now about the importance of the middle relievers. Of course, the A's, this has been their game over the last couple of 3 years with Tony La Russa and Dave Duncan. Starter go as hard as he can, as long as he can, and he has felt very comfortable handing that ball over to such as Gene Nelson and Todd Burns, Rick Honeycutt.
He's got a couple extra left-handers, Dave Otto and Joe Klink down on the bullpen to go along with Rick Honeycutt.
And a new man who is certainly not new to this area by the name of Mike Norris.
That's right.
Pitch outside. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Boy, Nelson was chosen in the 29th round of the draft back in 1978, and in his first 3 years in the Yankee organization, won 28 games and lost 8. He was 20-3 one year, so he wasn't in the minor leagues very long.
He has that type of arm, they call it a rubber arm, that he can just get up and throw and throw and throw, and it doesn't seem to ever bother him to work several days in a row.
3-1 count. He walked him. That's the first walk the Twins have received tonight. And here comes the guy who hit the home run out of here back in the 5th inning, Greg Gagne. Well, things could get tight in a hurry here.
Now batting shortstop, Greg Gagne.
Oakland 5 runs, 7 hits. Twins 2 runs, 7 hits. been one home run tonight, and that was by the man at the plate right now. And this is high for a ball. Gino's thrown 1 strike so far and 6 pitches. Drive to center field, hit it off the end of the bat. And Dave Henderson puts it away, so Gene Nelson comes in to preserve the lead. And the A's in the middle of the 6th lead 5-2.
When we get together for a nice cold cerveza, Coors Light is the right beer now.
Things that just seem to taste more delicious when they're melted. Well, that's the very idea behind a luscious new sandwich at Jack in the Box.
The ham and turkey melt. Layers of ham and turkey melting with cheddar, melting with Swiss on grilled sourdough. The new ham and turkey melt.
Jack in the Box.
Every evening, we pack over 700,000 passengers onto our planes. No drinks are served, no meals are prepared, and yet our customers love our service, like our UPS Next Day Air Letter. Guaranteed overnight delivery to any address coast to coast, and at just $9, far less than other companies charge. No one seems to mind that there's no in-flight movie.
Hey, how would you like the entire 1990 Topps team set of world champion Oakland A's baseball cards? It'll be worth a lot of money someday. Well, they'll be yours free as a signing bonus when you receive your Oakland A's MasterCard. In addition, as an A's MasterCard holder, you'll automatically be eligible for monthly promotions and special events. Call 1-800-242-MVP1. Apply for yours. Number again, 1-800-242-MVP1. Let's pause for station identification on the Oakland A's television network.
This is KPIX, San Francisco, Oakland, San Jose.
And at the Oakland Coliseum, Mike Gallego leads off against Juan Berenguer. Fouls the first pitch back, strike 1. Berenguer came on in the 5th inning with the Twins behind 5-1. Anderson pitched 4 innings tonight, gave up 5 runs and 7 hits, walked 3, struck out 1. Anderson didn't pitch all that well. He just couldn't get the real big out. A couple of 3 2-out base hits hurt him badly here tonight. Breaking ball over for a call strike. It's 0-2 to Gallego.
I have to think one other thing that Alan Anderson had going against him tonight is facing a very emotional ball club. Opening night with the World Series and the whole thing, you know, with the rings, and I mean, they were pumped. The A's were pumped. They had a great ball club anyway, but still, you get on that emotional high opening night, you have to make some perfect pitches to a ball club like that.
Breaking ball high, 2-2.
The thing about Anderson, as you mentioned before, he had great success on the road last year, not as much at the Metrodome, but still a very good pitcher. You figure he's going to be in the win column for many of the ball games, the Twins this year.
Berenguer got Mike down in the count 0-2. He's now gone to 3-2. He's throwing 2 straight breaking balls and missed both of them high. And tried to bust him inside with the fastball and lost him. It's interesting to watch what some of the managers have said around spring training about their clubs, in particular Jim Lefebvre of Seattle. As, of course, he's an eternal optimist, but he has really said some good things about his ball club. He's very happy with their club up there right now in Seattle.
They have an excellent ball club, and more importantly, they have an excellent ownership now. New owners and a lot of changes in that regard.
Here's Walter Weiss. Gets the first pitch foul, out of play, strike 1. Weiss had a base hit in the 4th inning.
We're going to see something next Friday at the Kingdome. A sellout crowd for opening night.
You're kidding.
No, I'm not. Mickey Morabito said they're sold out Friday night, over 40,000 for Saturday.
I love it.
Oh, I know. It's never happened. It never happened up there, but they're excited.
I've been there a season without seeing 40,000 fans. Good looking bunt by Walt Weiss. Sacrifices Gallego to second. And Tony does that a lot. He'll give that batter one shot with the bat. And if he doesn't get the hit, he'll switch back to the bunt.
And a pitch that's high, but yet Walt Weiss hit the ball down. A lot of times you'll see a hitter pop that ball up.
Left fielder, Ricky
And you see there, it just kept the bat above the ball instead of under the ball. Brian Harper easily, Walt Weiss. It's a good feeling going down the base path, knowing that they're making the play on you at first base instead of getting the runner at second base.
Now,
Good
Weiss
bunt.
does so many things so well. Boy, he is basically fundamentally sound. Here is Ricky Henderson. He's had 2 hits tonight, scored 1 run. Strike called. Man, he ripped that ball off the center field wall back in the 4th inning.
It's almost like what you call a muscle swing. Just muscled the ball out of there. And the amazing thing is how well it just kept going. Afternoon ball game, that's probably a home run. It carries just a little better in the afternoon as opposed to nighttime.
Berenguer misses up high. Remember, it's Bob Welch here tomorrow night for the A's. He who has won 17 games each of the last 2 years for the Athletics. He'll be going against Roy Smith at 7:30 tomorrow night. Two and one count. And that's a strike. 2-2. Good breaking ball.
Change for Juan Berenguer in 1988. He threw a lot more fastballs. Last year, more forkballs. Mentioned he has an excellent one. Also throws the curveball. Just saw to Ricky Henderson, but the fastball that he likes to throw in the mid-90s.
Ricky fouled that one over into the crowd. Another foul ball. Mike Moore gets his first start on Wednesday at 12:15 against Kevin Tapani.
And pitch that Jim Cott, the broadcasters for the Twins, said he's had a very good spring.
Full count to Ricky Henderson. You got to throw strikes to get this guy out. He has got one of the really good sets of eyes in baseball for looking over strikes. Oh, Ricky kind of fought that one off. He picked up the spin, saw it was a breaking ball, and was already starting with his swing. That was quite a fine fight off.
You can see the reaction of Brian Harper too. You make that kind of a pitch 3-2. You fool a great hitter like a Ricky Henderson, and he's able to foul the ball off another chance. So Ricky smiling, but pitcher catcher a little upset that you didn't get strike 3 or at least an out.
Followed that curveball up with a high inside fastball, and Berenguer's got some real velocity out there tonight. 2 on and 1 out. Here comes Carney Lansford, who's had 2 hits tonight. He and Kirby Puckett have 2 hits apiece tonight. They were the top 2 hitters in the league last year. That T-shirt Carney had, I saw those. First thing I saw when I got to spring training that I recall anyway, and players are wearing that shirt around that says contentment stinks. Stay focused.
Carney Lansford out here this afternoon very early. I know Carl Young trying to get him to do the interview, and Carney was out working with Dave McKay, taking extra batting practices, toss drill, flip drill that he does down in the batting cage behind the right center field fence.
He does that everywhere they go.
Yes, they do.
He works very, very hard for the game, Carney does. One and one. We have one away. The A's are leading the Twins 5-2 on an opening night. Right up the middle. Nice stop by Newman for one. They'll throw to first. How about that double play? Sensational play by Newman. We'll take a look at it when we come back. After 6, it's 5-2 Oakland.
We're going to find out once and for all whose Hyundai Excel is quicker, my 4-door or her 3-door.
They've both got new fuel-injected overhead cam engines.
My sedan has a close ratio 5-speed transmission.
My hatchback has a 4-speed automatic with a special performance mode.
Ready, set, go.
Well, if I didn't let him win, he'd never speak to me again.
Get up to $1,000 factory cash back on 90 Excels at your local Hyundai dealer now.
You ever gonna run for president? The money's not right.
He owns so much property in California, it boggles the mind.
And besides, my wife wouldn't want to move to a smaller house.
We're calling it a land swindle. The highway through National Park land has been dubbed Bob Hope's Road to Riches.
It makes Trump look like just a little homeowner.
Honey, I don't want to protect myself and try to defend myself. It's, you know, I've been around a long time.
Every year around now, I check out our finances. I look my wife straight in the eye and say, sorry, honey, we'll have to do Europe next year. Well, this year is different. We got a terrific break on the airfare. We got a terrific break on the rental car. We're gonna rent for 5 days and pay for only 2. Bottom line, this year, we're not waiting for next year.
More of TWA's world for less of your money. Today's TWA.
One of the best plays in baseball is a double play, and you see the Twins executing one perfectly. Ball looked like a base hit. See Al Newman not even use his claw or his hand, just flip the ball to Greg Gagne to complete the double play on Carney Lansford. Take another look at it, but Ricky Henderson at first base running hard. But Newman, this is something you don't really practice on that much during infield practice, but something that a very alert shortstop is able to catch the ball and continue the double play.
So Gene Nelson now pitches to Newman, and the first pitch is outside for a ball. And the A's have another pitcher up out in their bullpen right now.
Left-hander Rick Honeycutt.
Good live fastball. See the movement on that pitch?
And there you see Rick Honeycutt as Randy Bush is the scheduled third hitter. And of course, after Kirby Puckett, then you have Ken Herbeck.
2 balls and a strike.
A lot of talent in this infielder for the Minnesota Twins.
Short fly ball into center, and Ken Dude has it, 1 out. Boy, you just realize how important these middle relievers are going to be the first 3 or 4 weeks of this season, and how closely the pitching coaches and managers are going to have to watch them, because very few of those starters are going to go past 5 innings.
Greg Gagne home run in the only home run in this ball game, but the other home runs in the major leagues. Baltimore, he mentions Sam Horn hitting 2, Tartable and White at Kansas City. So even though the layoff, still some home runs hit in Major League Baseball. There's the National League bench, like a couple for Pittsburgh. Home runs are exciting, but those defensive plays are very exciting also.
Nelson misses outside with the fastball. It's 1 ball and 1 strike to Dan Gladden. Graduated from high school in Campbell. Right up the freeway. But 1 strike. Carney Lansford, as that pitch was coming to the plate, backed up. Out of the bunt situation, bunt defensive stance in which he was playing.
Well, infielders at third especially will play in, anticipating the bunt, at least to show the hitter that he's going to be in, to try to take the bunt away from the hitter. But as the pitch is being made, it's very tough for the hitter to be able to see that third baseman move back. So move back in a normal position and be ready for a ball hit your way.
And Gladden played at Fresno State, one of the best baseball programs in collegiate area. And his first 2 years in pro ball, he played in Fresno. Hit .307 in 1979 for the Fresno Giants and .304 in 1980. Went to Shreveport and then to Phoenix in 1983. Joined the Giants for 18 ball games. Been in the big leagues basically since that time. Fouled off. Dan was a big base stealer early in his career. Got 52 steals in 1 year in Shreveport. And since he's been in the big leagues, he's had right around 27 every year.
Had a hamstring problem last year that curtailed his stealing. He's running a little.
Drive straight away center field, and I'll tell you, Henderson's getting a workout out there tonight, isn't he?
Now batting, right fielder Randy Bush.
6 or 7 outs he's rung up out there tonight. Here's Randy Bush. 2 down in the 7th. The Athletics lead it 5-2. Rick Honeycutt. Breaking ball over the plate, but low. Jumped on that one and drilled it into right. Bush's second hit of the game, both singles.
Ball getting away as the throw came back in from Jose Canseco.
The batter, center fielder Kirby Puckett.
He's smiling about it. No damage done. He's looking at Mike Gallego. He sure hopped him pretty good, didn't he? Here's Kirby Puckett. 5-2 now. You can't make any mistakes with this guy. He's had 2 base hits. Gino starts him off with a strike. Twins about hit the A's 8-7. Out homered them 1-0. But it's when you get the hits, and the A's have had some timely ones tonight. Lansford makes an unbelievable stop, and from his knees he throws the ball to first. He gets away from McGuire, and that's going to allow Bush to go to third base. Well, it saved a run anyway, because if that ball goes down the line, the Twins are going to score.
One of the best in the business at diving and stopping the baseball, third base especially, is Carney Lansford. He makes the stop, and he's just making a courtesy throw. Mark McGuire came up to keep the throw from getting by him or having to catch it on a bounce. But instead, the ball skipped and got through Mark McGuire.
And with the big left-hander Ken Herbeck coming up, we're going to see Tony La Russa out of that dugout, and very possibly Rick Honeycutt out of the bullpen. There's the point right there. We are going to have a pitching change to face the big left-hander as he represents the tying run in this ball game. So the Twins have just kept plugging away, and Baron Guerra's stopped the A's without a run in his 2 innings of work. And now it's going to be up to number 40, taking the place of number 19, Gene Nelson. Is leaving the game. We'll be right back.
Flying, flying, oh I flying. with the greatest of ease, so with the greatest of ease. Oh, we never come down, no. Never come down. Soaring, so high, flying, touch the sky, got no gravity. We never come down, never come down. We never come down. Flying.
Punk rocker Sam McBride is behind bars awaiting trial for murder. Police say Sammy choked his groupie girlfriend to death. He might have gotten away with it, but a key witness who saw the story on A Current Affair gave our John Johnston evidence that police say cracked the case.
He said he strangled her and he said he blacked out.
Exclusive, death of a groupie.
A Current Affair, tomorrow at 7 on KPIX Channel 5.
I didn't think racing the cable car was going to be that tough until I saw the hill that they selected.
Go!
I sprinted out and got to an early late, and about halfway up, I was really feeling good. And then about 3/4 of the way up, I knew I was really in trouble. Running up that hill that day, full speed, was physically one of the toughest things I've ever done.
When you think about sports, think about Wayne Walker.
It's the last time for that hill.
The World Champion A's meet the Mariners Saturday at 7.
With the powerful hitting Kent Herbeck, scheduled to hit for the Athletics. Rick Honeycutt has come on to face him. Honeycutt last year 2-2 in 64 ball games. Those 12 saves came majority of the time when Dennis Eckersley was injured. Rick Honeycutt became the stopper for the Athletics, or one of the stoppers. The entire bullpen actually did their job day in and day out, taking over when Dennis Eckersley was injured. Kent Herbeck, capable of hitting the long ball. Manager Tony Russo using one of the left-handers that he has down in the bullpen to come in to face him here in the 7th inning. Meantime, Ricky Henderson hustling back as he was sitting on the bullpen bench visiting with the relief pitchers down in the bullpen, and he's now finding his way back to his position in left field.
So the battle is on with Rick Honeycutt. He's been in the big league since 1978. He came up with the Seattle Mariners actually for a little bit in 1977. Only spent a couple of years in the minor leagues. Starts him off with a slider high and outside, ball 1. Kent Herbeck. Big power man for the Minnesota Twins, and if he gets hold of one, we could have a new game right here. Home run cut, but he got out in front of that twisting slider. I think he was trying to tie this ball game up with this swing. You can see the uppercut, the swing. Rick Honeycutt, the good breaking ball, missing it. Last year, Herbeck hitting .266 against left-handed pitching. Had 6 of his 25 home runs against left-handed pitchers. Well, I'll never forget seeing him for the very first time. He was playing for Visalia in the California League. And I went over to watch him in batting practice. I heard this loud thump, which you only hear with certain guys hit the ball. I started looking around who's doing that, and boy, he put on some kind of display in batting practice. Then that night, he hit a ball off the foul pole in the right to win a game in the 9th inning. He went up in the latter part of that rookie season to the big leagues. Pitch. Herbeck doesn't agree, but Honeycutt throws him with a slider right on his knees and leaves 2 men on base, and the score still 5-2 Oakland.
When you were a kid, you wanted your bike to sound like a car. Nowadays, you'd like your car to be as quiet as that old bike. So use a gasoline that can do a better job quieting knocks. One that's 2 octane higher than regular unleaded. Unical's 89 octane.
Hey, Jimmy.
Hi, Murph.
Pitched a great game last night.
Gee, thanks.
Right, Trent, about this baseball team. They actually caught the ball when the other guys hit it.
It's our game. We love to see it, share it, and talk about it.
The new AT&T Universal Card helps make it all possible.
Now, I know that you guys can make this dream a reality for me.
It's Visa or MasterCard and the power of AT&T.
Show them what we can do today.
The AT&T Universal Card. One world, one card.
When we get together for a nice cold cerveza, Coors Light is the right beer now.
Another good way to have fun here at the old ballpark in Oakland is to come to the Kingsford Picnic Plaza. It's the ideal way to enjoy a pregame barbecue with the Oakland A's. The Kingsford Picnic Plaza can accommodate up to 300 people. For more information and reservations, call 430-8020, extension 4948. That's a good way. Get your group together and plan on having a picnic before the ball game, and then come right on in that back gate and see the world champion Oakland A's. You want to know what Jose's personal goals are this year?
I think my personal goals are, first of all, to see the A's and myself, of course, repeat again as world champions. As an individual, I'd like to maybe do the 40-40 season again, hit over 40 home runs. I'd like to hit 300 this year. I'd like to have a high average and, you know, just get on base as much as possible, have a high on base percentage and slugger percentage for the other players. And, you know, I think if I hit a high average, I think the rest will take care of itself.
Yeah, I believe it. The high percentage of his hits are going to go for a tour. 1 ball and 1 strike on Jose. They've walked him twice here tonight.
Terry Leach, signed by the Twins. He's throwing down their bullpen.
Jose hits one down the line in right field. It's slicing off, foul. Kind of fought that ball off. As far as bases on balls, Jose last year walked only 23 times. And the last full season that he played, he walked 78 times in 1988. Struck out 128. The big thing he's done in the last 2 years is cut down on the number of strikeouts. He's done that by spreading out his stance and what Ray calls his 2-strike stance. Caught that pitch off inside, fouled it off.
And there's where you have to be extremely strong and quick to be able to foul off a pitch like that. That ball was running in on him. Too close to take and worry about being a strike 3. So you just fight it off to protect yourself, get that extra swing.
Two and 2 count on Jose Canseco. We're in the 7th inning. He got him on a changeup. Probably a fork ball. I don't know, Ray. What do you think?
Might have been the split finger, the fork ball. The way it dropped down inside. Stayed with the fastball.
First baseman, Mark McGwire.
Well, it's either that or a sharp curveball. Very difficult to tell. Couldn't see how he had his fingers on the baseball, but it was a good pitch anyway.
Went down and with not much speed. And Jose, you can see him kind of take a hitch trying to catch up with it, and he just couldn't do it. That's a good pitch. He had a good at bat anyway. Here's Mark McGwire. Berenguer misses up high. Mark drove in a run with a sacrifice fly ball in the 3rd inning. He's got on the scoreboard early. 1 run in the 1st. Breaking ball strike. They scored 3 in the 3rd inning and 1 in the 4th and have not scored since. Wow, what a cut. Mark was right on that one and just missed it.
See a good swing, just missing a pitch, and this is something you like to think about. Well, if it had a full spring training, 6 weeks, a lot of baseball games, I'd been right on it and maybe hit the home run, but just missing the pitch.
Berenguer stayed up in there with his fastballs a whole lot since he came in the game. A's have not had a hit off him, and he has struck out 2 batters. He's gone all the way on McGuire, 3-2. Dave Henderson is on deck. He gets a walk. Well, hey, you look around, Ray, and you see this ballpark filled, and you realize how much work had to be done internally in the A's ticket office and everybody, because this was scheduled to be a game that a different ticket brought people into.
That's right. 4th game of the homestand.
Right, so they had to do some changing. Like a super submariner down there. Henderson with a big 2-out single in the first to drive home a run.
The Elias book that everybody likes to read, statistics. Dave Henderson is the one batter that Juan Berenguer likes to face. You know why? Coming into tonight's ball game, 0-45, 1 for 22 with 9 strikeouts. And the first hitter that Berenguer faces tonight is Dave Henderson, and strikes him out. So some things, there are some pitchers you just can't hit. Other ones you just hit like you own them.
He hit him this time. He caught up with all of that one, and there she goes. Dave Henderson with a 2-run home run.
But as they say, with all those strikeouts, also comes the home run occasionally or whatever. And Dave Henderson got one that he liked. Oh, and he knew it too. And he puts that certain little trot on when he knows it's gone.
As they say, you can fool some of the people some of the time.
That's right. Watch the swing, watch the throw of the bat. Yeah, he knew it was gone.
Put it on, Dave.
That's the Hindu stance. That's right.
Man, did that ball go out of here, and it was high. Gary Steinbach. He hits one deep in the left center field. That ball's well tagged, too. Kirby pockets out of room, and the ball is out of the park.
Have put up their previous 6 runs, hustling with the key hits. Now the big bashers come out. Back-to-back home runs.
Man, those balls were tagged too. Well, they've got to be to get out of here.
Talked about Ricky Henderson muscling the ball, just quite not making it to center field. Terry Steinbach muscled this one, and it made it out.
Well, that's going to be all for Berenguer.
Good swing. Not able to extend his arms 100%, but he didn't have to.
Well,
he got all of it.
That was a unique angle, Ray, and one I really like. That's a good look at a home run swing. That's the center field stand where our camera is. So we're going to have the submariner come on as Juan Berenguer has literally been knocked out of the ball game. The A's had not had a hit off of him in 2 1/3 innings. He walked Mark McGuire in a 3-2 pitch. And then Dave Henderson made up for all the trouble that Berenguer had given him over the years. And as we said earlier, there's the guy that's going to have quite a season with that bat, Terry Steinbach. He's really up here as a solid performer these days.
He's probably going to get a great opportunity to play a lot of ball games, and that's what happens. You start hitting because you know you're going to be in there and getting the regular at-bats.
There's our next television schedule. Will be Saturday up in Seattle, and Ray's already mentioned they have 40,000 fans already bought tickets for that one. That'll be exciting up there in that King Dome. Good ball club, and we'll be there at 7 o'clock. But then we'll go down next Tuesday night in California, and that's going to be a special promotion night down there too. They're going to have a big crowd in that ballpark that night. I've heard them talking about it on their television. And we'll be on there at 7:30. And then it's off on the road to the big bad eastern part of the country. We'll go to Baltimore first, televising at 4:30 in the afternoon from Baltimore on Tuesday, April 24th. Check your local listings, all you people along the network, to find out what time the television will be coming into your area.
Sinker baller Terry Leach comes on to pitch for the Minnesota Twins. Last year with Kansas City, 5-6, 30 games. He also was with the New York Mets. Earlier in the season was in 16 ball games for the Mets. He was released just earlier this week by the Kansas City Royals, and the Minnesota Twins, in need of pitching, or at least some extra pitching in the bullpen area, signed Terry Leach to a contract. He has spent some time in the major leagues. Has 4 years of service in the major leagues. But you'll see mainly the submarine style pitching, the sinker and the slider coming from the right-hander Terry Leach.
Well, there always seems to be one of these guys around. Quisenberry is making a comeback this year over in San Francisco. I don't know if you can call it a comeback, but he's got a chance at one anyway. St. Louis last year after all those great years in Kansas City. And Javier takes a strike over the outside corner. What was that guy's name with Pittsburgh?
Tekulve.
Yeah, Tekulve, Kent Tekulve. He's finally through. Ted Abernathy was around for a long time. Eldon Walker. All those submariners.
Who was
you
that?
never saw that guy pitch, did you?
He's from Porterville too, huh?
No, Tex Clevenger was an old submariner from there. Javier pops it up. Foul ground. Gaetti runs Laxman out of the coach's box and makes the grab. So Leach retires his first man for his new club. Ray, it's interesting today to see how the new players who were picked up during the winter at various times to do a job did them. Like for Baltimore, they needed a left-handed power-hitting DH, and they got Sam Horn and had 2 3-run homers today to beat Kansas City. And then the Dodgers needed a long ball man, and they had a 3-run homer out of, what's his name? Just went blank as Gallego comes to the plate. I'll think of it sometime tomorrow after we sign off.
I'm thinking.
Gallego takes a strike. It's 1-1.
Oh, Hubie Brooks?
Yeah, Hubie Brooks. We got him. He had a 3-run home run today for the Dodgers to win that ball game.
Fred Lynn hit one too for San Diego.
Yep.
Of course, they lost.
Bouncing ball. You need a step ladder to go after it. There's a sinker ball. Best shot he's got to first base to get Gallego. So Leach retires the side, and in the 7th, the A's get 3 more runs. Back-to-back homers by Hindu and Steiny, and it's 8-2 Oakland.
Do the little things on your airline work as well as they should? Before you get on an Alaska Airlines plane, we make sure everything is shipshape, inside and out.
I didn't think racing the cable car was going to be that tough until I saw the hill that they selected.
Go!
I spun it out and got to an early late, and about halfway up, I was really feeling good. And then about 3/4 of the way up, I knew I was really in trouble. Running up that hill that day, full speed, was physically one of the toughest things I've ever done.
When you think about sports, think about Wayne Walker.
It's the last time for that hill.
Not long ago, Toyota and Honda were the last word in the world of sporty imports. But that was just the calm before the storm. Introducing the all-new Storm GSI, the 16-valve performance force from Geo.
Getting to know you.
See your Chevrolet Geo dealer and get to know Geo Storm.
Champion A's meet the Mariners Saturday at 7 on KPIX 5, your Bay Area sports station.
Once again, a quick look at the scores in the American League. Boston behind Roger Clemens defeated Detroit 5-2 at Fenway. Baltimore behind those 3-run home runs by Sam Horn, 7-6 over Kansas City in 11. Chicago 2-1 over Milwaukee at Comiskey Park. Texas 4-2 over Toronto. Nolan Ryan picking up the win. And California losing to Seattle down at the Big A. 7-4. Ken Griffey homering for Seattle. Blyleven the loser.
Hey, you want to know what Hindu's home run sounded like in Japanese? We mentioned earlier they're broadcasting it back to Japan. But here it is.
この当たりはどうかな。打球が伸びていった。これはレフト諦めました。ツーランホームラン。デーブ・ヘンダーソン独特の両手を広げてベースを回る得意の姿。ツーランホームラン。まず6点目のランナーがホームイン。そしてデーブ・ヘンダーソンが噛み締めるよう。
All right. All right. I understood part of that.
Home run.
Home run and David Henderson. All right. Here's Gary Gaetti. Well, it's been a lot of fun tonight. That's the way Wally Miller, our producer, sounds to us sometimes. Particularly when we're reading the wrong stuff up here. 0-1 pitch to Gaetti from Honeycutt. Honeycutt came in to face Kent Herbeck, representing the tying run of the game, and got him on a called third strike. And that could go in the category of one of the big pitches of the night. Ball is just foul.
You know, speaking of Dave Henderson, it seems that every opening night he hits a home run. He did it against Mark Langston. I think it was 2 years ago to win the ball game. And he just shines it. I think Dave Henderson would like to play on opening night, have every night opening night.
Or playoffs.
Our playoffs or World Series, exactly.
Well, you know what? That big crowd in Seattle tends to pump up the visitors as well. As everybody gets pumped up in a big crowd, and the A's are going to see that in Seattle, and that'll be different because I know a lot of them have talked about how they hate to play up there. Good off-speed pitch. So maybe the A's need to get some of those speakers out like the football teams do getting ready to go up there. Now, this will be a good enough warm-up tonight for him. Here's Brian Harper, who's had 2 hits, including a run batted in. Walt Weiss guns him down, and they're 2 away. Well, it really feels comfortable to get back here at the Coliseum, and they're working with our producer Wally, as we've talked about, and Carl Young, our associate director, up here in the booth with us. And Ingrid Sarah is down in the truck as usual, doing a great job. All those stats you see on the thing, and she's doing it. We got a lot of guys and shooting camera shots all over the place. Our son Donnie's back doing something. I don't know what they got him doing tonight. He's somewhere around here. Down with Wally. That'll keep him straight. 1 strike to count on Gene Larkin. Almost got him. Well, Ray, my other son Bruce, got his fiance here tonight. She's from Southampton, England. She's never seen a baseball game before. I'm wondering what she's thinking about all this.
Well, she picked a good one to see so far.
I'd say so. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Rick Honeycutt, the 3rd pitcher of the night, used by Tony La Russa.
It's amazing Rick Honeycutt did not see much action in spring training. But he has come out tonight and pitched very effectively. A couple of strikeouts.
Now we're looking for the same thing to happen with Bob Welch tomorrow night. He'll be pitching here against Roy Smith. Saw Smith pitch on television the other night. I'll tell you, they'll see a bunch of curveballs, off-speed pitches. He can definitely bend that ball.
Changes the speeds on the breaking ball very well.
Ball sliced off foul down the line and right. Jose faked the throw into the field and threw it up in the crowd. Making fans on the A's money. 3 balls, 2 strikes, and 2 down in the 8th inning. He lost him. Larkin gets his second walk of the game. It's only the second walk A's pitching has given up tonight. Stewart went 5 2/3 innings, did not walk anybody. Struck out only one. And as usual, tough in the clutch. Nelson pitched a scoreless inning, allowing 2 hits, and Honeycutt has been on since.
So Joe Klink getting up to throw down in the A's bullpen.
Honeycutt brought that slider from the outside right over the plate to Gagne for a strike.
Left-hander who originally played for the Minnesota Twins. A couple of years ago, faced the A's as a member of the Twins. Gave up a home run to guess who? Jose Canseco. Says he still remembers it too.
Fly ball in the center. Here comes Henderson. Long run. A diving catch. He cannot make it. So Gagne dumps a base hit out into center field, and it goes to double, driving in Gene Larkin. The 2 out, he was running all the way. Henderson made a great try for that ball.
It's a play that you can make with the score. You're ahead 8-2. Dave Henderson almost making a fantastic catch, but because he was not able to block it, the ball by him, and Gagne getting to second base, but Larkin scoring easily. That's where you like to see the other outfielders, right fielder or left fielder, backing up the center fielder when an attempt is made on a diving play like that.
That one was so shallow, almost neither one of them had a chance to get over there that quickly. So Gagne's had a home run and a double tonight. We got a pinch hitter coming on from Minnesota. It's got to be Carmen Castillo. Right. Batting for Newman.
I'd say on Gagne's ball to center field, the good news was that we're not playing at the Metrodome, because that ball would have rolled all the way to the wall on that artificial surface.
And Dave Henderson would be hurting from carpet burns all over.
Probably wouldn't have been making the dive for it.
So Castillo is an outfielder. He's coming on. That means they'll have to have a new second baseman also. Twins have a lot of new faces this year on their 27-man roster. I think 17 new faces. This guy's name, though it's called Carmen, his name is Monte Carmelo.
And he wants to be called Carmelo too.
Hits the ball in the air to center field, and Dave Henderson gets another chance. This one a lot easier than the last, and he puts it away. We'll go to the last half of the 8th inning, and the A's are leading at 8-3.
Assigned work. A car put together by hand, with so much care that the craftsmen who made it have actually signed their names to it. On their behalf, we invite you to come in and leisurely inspect every gratifying detail. Introducing the Riata Roadster by Buick. Handcrafted luxury for two.
I like wheeling and dealing and a penthouse view. Dressing for success and knowing who's who. Bright lights, the fast lane, and my big-time career. Meetings of the board and cold Coors beer. If you like your beer fresh, pure, and natural, head for the Rockies and the original taste of Coors. Tap an ice-cold Coors with a friend of yours. Coors, the Rocky Mountain legend.
You ever gonna run for president? The money's not right. Yeah.
He owns so much property in California, it boggles the mind.
And besides, my wife wouldn't want to move to a smaller house.
We're calling it a land swindle. The highway through national parkland has been dubbed Bob Hope's Road to Riches.
It makes Trump look like just a little homeowner.
Honey, I don't want to protect myself and try to defend myself. It's, you know, I've been around a long time.
Bugs Bunny will be 50 years old on Saturday, April 21st, and the A's are going to give the first 15,000 kids a white visor with the A's and Bugs Bunny logo right on the bill. There will be a special Looney Tunes pregame show before the A's and Mariners play at 1:05. You can charge tickets by phone by calling any of the Bass numbers you see right there.
That's all, folks.
You didn't think I could do it, did you?
I still don't.
I don't know where they got that one, but there it is. And up for the Athletics, here's Walt Weiss, who's 1 for 2 tonight. And he gets his second base hit, both of them going opposite way. He's had one right-handed, one left-handed. More if he does that all year long, he's gonna contribute offensively.
Walt's father is here from Suffern, New York. He was here over the weekend watching the Bay Bridge series, and I said, Mr. Weiss, you sticking around for opening night? He said, that's why I'm here. I wouldn't miss it at all.
I know during the winter, Walt was talking about, he was lamenting the fact that he gave his father for Christmas a trip to Arizona to spring training, and there they they locked him out. So I'm glad he got to come out for this anyway. Here's Ricky Henderson. Now, Ricky's had a very fine night tonight. 2 base hits, 3 at bats. Very fine defensive play, 1 running catch, and 1 outstanding throw from the warning track to second base. It didn't get anybody, but it let him know that he can. Little looper on the infield. Well, these guys got to be tough to hit. Ray, did you ever hit against one of these Under Armours?
Oh, I tried to, but they don't throw very hard. That's not bad.
The batter, third baseman,
Now, there are
Carney
several schedule
Lancer.
changes because of the late start of the season. The A's are going to really be affected. They're going to have to make several trips into Minnesota this year instead of just 2. They're going to be May 14th. They'll go in there. And then on July 11th, I guess when that is, Wednesday after the All-Star game, the next day after the All-Star game. So the A's, in essence, don't have an All-Star break this year because the Sunday prior to the break, they play in Cleveland. And then they go back July 28th for a double dipper. And then we'll make those 3 games we missed with California to open the season. We'll get them here to close the season, October 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. We can already tell you we're going to televise the one October 2nd. Lansford hits a liner to center. Kirby Puckett's got it surrounded out there and makes the catch. And they're 2 down. The A's who won 99 games last year figure that's going to take 100 this year maybe to win the West. We got a break today, and both teams expected to challenge them the most lost opening day. Kansas City lost, and so did California. Serves them right for going out and spending all that free agent money, doesn't it? Pitch outside to Jose. He was walked twice tonight, bounced into a double play, and struck out. Jose was loose and having a lot of fun out there prior to the game tonight. Even horned in on yours and Tony La Russa's show, didn't he?
Always scares me, too. Close to the end of an interview, and you have players or somebody walk up and just know that they're going to ruin the whole thing.
Pitch outside a ball, 2-1. But your great professionalism prevented it from being ruined. That's a Mark McGwire trick.
Yeah.
He's always getting in on you. Big cut. The one big pitch that these sinker ballers have is, these submariners have, is the sinker ball. They can turn that thing over, a la softball pitchers. Two down. 8-3. Oakland leading. ripped that ball right back up the middle of the diamond. Weiss is going to third. So's the throw. He's in. Nice throw from Kirby Puckett. Walt Weiss never stopped and hit the dirt head first.
Well, sometimes you'll take any hit you can get for your first one of the season. Jose Canseco, very strong, breaking his bat up the middle. But watch Walter Weiss all the way to third base and testing the arm of Kirby Puckett. He makes a strong throw, but Walt, I think, once again, showing everybody that his knees are healthy from last year. He has been running very hard this evening.
First indication I got of it was down spring training. He caught somebody up in a rundown and ran him all the way back from second to first and tagged the guy out. He could have thrown the ball, but he just outran somebody. Well, he said he worked very hard. He had that second surgery. He told me the other day that was the real key, because there were still some things in his knee that needed to be taken out after the season last year. Mark McGuire looking for his first hit of the season, though he did knock in a run in the third, and he scored a run in the seventh. He was on when Dave Henderson hit a mighty blast up into the left field seats. Two balls and no strikes. Three and 0.
Now you call that a strike.
Sorry about that. Right. Brinkman got his hand up a little slower than I was talking. Sorry about that, Joe. You've been pretty good tonight. And it's 3-1. Twins will have the top of the order up in the ninth inning. Full count. I think people will go to their offices tomorrow, or schools, or wherever they go, and we'll talk very favorably about the very classy pre-game ceremonies tonight. Wow, some great fireworks. Struck him out. So Leach retires to serve without anybody scoring. We're going to the top of the ninth, and it is 8-3 Oakland.
Rocker Sam McBride is behind bars awaiting trial for murder. Police say Sammy choked his groupie girlfriend to death. He might have gotten away with it, but a key witness who saw the story on A Current Affair gave our John Johnston evidence that police say cracked the case.
He said he strangled her, and he said he blacked out.
Exclusive, death of a groupie.
A Current Affair, tomorrow at 7 on KPIX Channel 5.
Flying, flying, oh I, flying. With the greatest of ease, with the greatest of ease. Oh, we never come down, no. Never come down. Soaring, so high, flying, touch the sky. Got no gravity, we never come down, never come down. We never come down. Flying.
We wanted to take the kids back east. We didn't want to take out a second mortgage to do it. So I had to do a little shopping around. But I got a great deal on the airfare. I even got a great deal on the rental car. We're gonna rent 2 days, and the first day's free. I just hate spending my vacation thinking about what I'm spending on my vacation.
More of TWA's world for less of your money. Today's TWA.
Well, there's a look at something that all A's fans really need to have, and you can be a part of the celebration on Friday, April 20th. That's when the A's host the Seattle Mariners, and all fans in attendance will receive a cap just like this one, 1989 World Champs, embroidered right on the front. Game time 7:35 that night. You can charge tickets right now by calling the vast numbers you see on the screen wherever you may be, or you can stop by the A's Coliseum box office at any time, the A's Clubhouse store in Southland Mall, or any of the Bass Ticketmaster centers, including the Warehouse, Tire Record, Video, and Emporium. I said a little while ago those caps could only be gotten here that day. I found out that by popular demand, they are going to make those available for purchase a little later on. So that's good news for those who don't get to make it that day. What is that we were looking at? The moon. The moon. Here's Dan Gladden taking a curve for a strike. Well, there's some excited people here tonight. I know one A's infielder named Mike Bordick. First time he's ever been in a big league ballpark, and what a night for him. Though he didn't get in the game, I'm sure he felt a very big rush of enthusiasm just being around the big league ballpark here today. Had a good spring, young infielder. Is it outside the ball?
Amazing thing about him, 1986 when he was drafted. I actually wasn't drafted. He was not even scouted. One of the A's scouts was there to watch some other player and saw him play in the field and said, let's sign him. So he wasn't even a drafted player out of University of Maine.
Tommy Reynolds told me he was managing the minor league team that Bordick was sent to, and he said he's one of the hardest nosed players I've ever been around. He said he is definitely in the mold of a Dick Green type guy, and he named off 2 or 3 other people that really are hard nosed players. He said he fits right in with our mold. Fouled off by Gladden. I would imagine Scott Sanderson is very happy to be here too and enjoy this tonight. In fact, I know he is. He told me he was very excited about being with this ball club.
The way he pitched yesterday, the ball club's very happy to have him here too.
Man, did he look good. He and Kurt Young were tremendous yesterday. 2 balls, 2 strikes, and the leadoff batter, Dan Gladden. He's 0 for 4 tonight. It's a ball in the air, deep center field. Henderson right there to make the grab. Boy, Dave Henderson has had a busy night.
He loves to play center field. He loves the activity, and he can play a good center field.
That's 8 putouts he's made in center field tonight. Hindu's bad boy club.
Number 24, Shane Mack.
1 away, and here's a pinch hitter, Shane Mack, an outfielder for the Twins. I think that Ben's breaking ball in there for a strike. Honeycutt came into the ball game for the Athletics as the 3rd pitcher of the night in the 7th inning with 2 out and 2 on to face Kent Herbeck, who at that time was a potential tying run of the game, and he proceeded to strike him out looking. Mack hits a high hopper to 3rd. Carney Lansford guns him down, and they're 2 away. Honeycutt, who came on last year, as Ray mentioned earlier tonight, to register some important saves while Dennis Eckersley was away, is within 1 out of chalking up his first save of the year for 1990. Here's Kirby Puckett, who's had 3 hits tonight as he starts defense of his American League batting championship, which he had also won the year before. He hit 350-something the year before, the highest any right-handed hitter since Joe DiMaggio had hit in the American League. A rocket fielded by Lansford. The A's win. Final score, the Oakland Athletics, defending world champions, 8, the Minnesota Twins 3.
Well, we value our customers, and that's why we go out of our way to make sure the customer is always happy. Even with all this variety, if a customer comes in and doesn't find the cut that they would like, we're more than happy to cut it for them. Some examples of special requests would be crown roast of lamb, crown roast of pork. We have a lot of requests from customers how to cook a roast, how to cook a prime rib, how long to cook a steak. Safeway tries hard to satisfy the customer. That's what we're there for.
I like cruising downtown in my limousine, big skyscrapers and the nightlife scene. The rush hour traffic we get around here. High fashion ladies and cold Coors beer.
If you like your beer fresh, pure, and natural, head for the Rockies and the original taste of Coors.
And tap an ice cold Coors with a friend of yours.
Coors, the Rocky Mountain legend.
Years ago, it seemed there was always someone you could really trust to take good care of your car. Well, there still is. And for over 75 years now, folks of the West have been turning to Unical for friendly, trustworthy service that's second to none.
Hi, Henry. Hi, Murph. You know, the older she gets, the better she looks.
What's new? Think of all the delicious things that just seem to taste more delicious when they're melted. Well, that's the very idea behind a luscious new sandwich at Jack in the Box. What's new?
The ham and turkey melt. Layers of ham and turkey melting with cheddar, melting with Swiss on grilled sourdough. The new ham and turkey melt.
What's new? Jack in the Box.
Well, the Oakland A's, looking every bit the part of world champions tonight, win their first win of 1990 by a score of 8-3. Highlights being home runs by Dave Henderson and Terry Steinbach back-to-back in the 7th inning. And that wraps up A's baseball for tonight. We hope you'll join us for our next televised game Saturday night at 7 o'clock as the A's take to the road to battle the Mariners in the Kingdom in Seattle. Now for Ray Fosse, this is Monty Moore saying thanks a million for being with us, and so long, everybody. Once again, the final score, the A's win 8-3.
Oakland A's baseball.